High has won a region championship. Auburn High gets the opportunity to get number 10 here tonight, and it's against a Smith Station team that will be more than happy to play the role of spoiler, especially against a rival like Auburn. Even though it's been a one-sided series, Auburn High has had, a lot of success against the Panthers of Smith Station, but this is a game that with Smith Station and Auburn, if Auburn comes out and doesn't play well early, it's senior night, it's a championship game night, it's everything like that. It can all lead to Auburn coming out flat.
Yeah, and there's always continuity problems when you've got kids that are out because of things like COVID. You've got multiple off weeks that they've had to contend with that I know this coaching staff probably didn't really like. I mean, it's always nice to rest your guys, but you also want to stay in a rhythm and a routine, especially after you go on the road and you beat a team that has been your nemesis for so long. So just not being able to get out here and keep that continuity together, I know that they want to be able to do those things, to do the little things well, to be able to walk in against a team that you should beat and show that, and not make this a four-quarter game that is nip and tuck the entire way. Be able to execute the things that that you're going to have to be able to perform at a high level when you get into the playoffs. In my mind tonight, it's establishing the running game,
yep.
and it's being able to move the football kind of at will in order to show and prove to that offensive front that, hey, we can get this done when we have to, when it matters in the playoffs.
We come back, we'll have keys to the game. You're listening to the Auburn High School Countdown to Kickoff on Wings 94.3.
It's time to get your next paint project started with just a click. Hey, it's Michael at University Ace. We're now offering paint online through acehardware.com. We can help you pick the perfect shade of Benjamin Moore, Magnolia Home, and Clark and Kensington for your home. Then you pick it up curbside, in the store, or we'll deliver it right to your doorstep.
Check.
Learn more at acehardware.com
right,
or talk with one of our helpful team members today at University Ace. Next to the movie
I think that was too high.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware.
Turn mine up just a little bit, Scott.
Kickstart your college plan.
Talking about in the headsets, that's maxed out, but we're going to be turned off. We're going to be turned up more.
That's better. That's good.
Except mini term means less time plus a faster finish. More than 20 courses offered. Apply and chat with an advisor today. Visit suscc.edu today. Click on Mini Term 2 registration and start racing toward that college dream.
What's your brother coach?
Receivers.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Hi, this is Bowles Pegues. It's Friday here at Riverbank and Trust in Auburn, and you can feel.
Talk to me.
Check 1 2.
Check one.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds better in our ears. Or it sounds better to me. How about you?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound overdriven.
On the live stream, it was a little bit overdriven, but then when I checked the radio in my office, y'all sound great.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hello, this is Coley Trent from Jeffco Trent Funeral Home and Crematory. My dad Bill and I are pleased to be a part of the Opelika, Auburn, and Lee County area, and thankful to the families that have placed their trust in us. At Jeffco Trent Funeral Home and Crematory, we continue to assure you when you call on us, you will be treated like a member of our own family with passionate and caring service. It's our desire to assist you during your difficult times and help you through your many decisions you face. Call on us in your time of need. Jeffco Trent Funeral Home and Crematory.
I just saw your tailback for next year.
Your Auburn High School football station.
That kid's good.
Wings 94.3.
Welcome back, and now let's take a look at tonight's keys to the game presented by Byron Smokehouse Breakfast. And for me, senior night championship opportunity for Auburn High School, it really just comes down to taking care of business and getting the goal. There's a lot of stuff going on, senior night, which is always a whole thing that's going on, whole roll of emotions. But you add in an opportunity to get a championship, and you add in 2 weird weeks that's gone on since the big win against Central.
Yeah.
You still have some players that are out. And for Auburn High, it's just to go out and take care of business here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's the disjointed nature of, this entire year, 2020 has been that way. And the resiliency that these kids are going to have to learn and what they're learning just in life at this stage, really I think is going to serve them well the older that they get. But, it is a time to go out and be able to cap off what you began, what you started. These guys, like I said, you defend your home turf. You make it so that coming into Duck Sanford Stadium is something that none of your opponents look forward to. And, you start that process by having classes like this that set the standard so that the other guys say, hey, when we play in our stadium, nobody walks out of here a winner except us. And, so these guys have done a great job of setting that tone, setting that standard, and living up to it week in and week out. And they're going to have an opponent tonight that knows that these guys, I think, are physically superior than they are. But you still got to go out there and prove it over the course of a football game.
Yep, and, Mike Glisson, the head coach at Smith Station, he coached at Auburn High School. He was here under Tim Carter. He's a very good coach. He's had them ready from an execution standpoint every single time these two teams have played. The program is getting better under them without question. But just tonight, it's a matter of the fact is that Auburn has more dogs. Auburn has the better team. But this as being an athlete, at times that doesn't matter. If you go out there and you don't execute and the other team is hungrier than you and they're executing better, they can set it up to where they're going to give you all type of issues. And for Auburn, and I think if Auburn's able to get off to a quick start early and then go from there, Auburn will be fine.
Yeah, I do too. But it's particularly easy to slip and find yourself in a dog fight when you're having these weeks where you're not playing and you're preparing for an opponent, and then all of a sudden that opponent cancels, and so just that disjointed nature, I think, makes it a challenge. But you're right, that program, Smith Station, we went over there last year and watched them, and it was in many ways so outgunned, so outmanned. I mean, it was not really a close contest. But it's interesting to see some of the programs in this region, how they are improving. Enterprise getting better, Smith Station getting better. Auburn has taken that next step by getting over the central hump. Dothan, I think, will be a program that will probably get better. What does Central do? Central's always going to be up there, so there's a lot of good teams that are battling for kind of supremacy. Prattville, that I didn't even mention, that's one of those teams. So all these programs have the potential to take it to the next level, and Auburn's going to be the one that they're pointing to, that they're the people we got to knock off.
And that's tonight, Byron Smokehouse Breakfast. Keys to the game, Byron Smokehouse, an Auburn tradition for over 30 years. When we come back, Chris Hummel joins the broadcast as he's going to set up what's going on around the region, as well as sit down with head coach Adam Weingarten to talk about today's game as Auburn is hosting Smith Station with an opportunity to win a region championship. We come back, we'll have more. You're listening to Auburn, the countdown to kickoff in Wings 94.3.
The Jay and Susie Gooch Performing Arts Center at Auburn University presents its 2021 season.
Join us for the best of Broadway, dance, chamber music, jazz, and more.
With performances by the Del McQuarrie Band, Patti LaBelle, Boss Gags, and the Alabama Symphony Orchestra.
Season and series subscriptions available now. Reserve your seats today.
Visit goochcentertickets.auburn.edu.
That's GOGUE centertickets.auburn.edu.
Or call the box office at 334-844-TIXS.
Hello, this is Coley Trent from Jeffco Trent Funeral Home and Crematory. My dad Bill and I are pleased to be a part of the Opelika, Auburn, and Lee County area, and thankful to the families that have placed their trust in us. At Jeffco Trent Funeral Home and Crematory, we continue to assure you when you call on us, you will be treated like a member of our own family with passionate and caring service. It's our desire to assist you during your difficult times and help you through your many decisions you face. Call on us in your time of need. Jeffco Trent Funeral Home and Crematory.
Kickstart your college plans. Mini-Term 2 starts October 12th at Southern Union State Community College. Same classes as a full semester, except mini-term means less time plus a faster finish. More than 20 courses offered. Apply and chat with an advisor today. Visit suscc.edu today. Click on Mini-Term 2 registration and start racing toward that college dream.
Hi, this is Bowles Pegues. It's Friday here at Riverbank and Trust in Auburn, and you can feel the buzz. Yeah. Since Riverbank and Trust is focused on our community, football is something we look forward to. And since our folks are local people, we really get excited about Friday night Auburn High football. Wow, maybe too excited. Hey, come see us at Riverbank and Trust in Auburn at the corner of East University Drive and Dean Road.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Classic hits and Auburn High School football. Wings 94.3.
Hello everybody, I'm Chris Hummel and this is the Auburn High School Football Region Report. The Auburn High Tigers were set to square off with Riverdale High School out of the state of Georgia last Thursday night, but were made aware of various travel restrictions from Riverdale's end that caused a forfeit. The Tigers instead find themselves in the middle of a crazy schedule that included a game, then a bye week, another game, and then another bye week. With lots of time off, though, it gives the Tigers a chance to clean up certain aspects of both the offense and the defense, as well as provide time for players to rest up before the last weeks of regular season play. Now the Tigers turn their attention this Friday as they get set to host the Smith Station Panthers with a region championship on the line. It could be the first region championship for the Tigers since moving to the 7A classification. Motivation will be high as Auburn looks to lock down the region and clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs. The Central Phoenix City Red Devils got themselves back on track last week as they took down the Prattville Lions by a final of 33-14. In a game that would help decide who could take sole possession of second place, the Red Devils came out with a vengeance and find themselves eyeing down a first-round playoff game. They will have to turn the page and get ready to host region opponent Dothan this Friday night. As for the Prattville Lions, their loss moves them to the 3 seed with a 3-2 record in region play. The Lions find themselves on a much-needed bye week before their chance to get back on track as they play host to the winless Jefferson Davis Volunteers in 2 weeks. The Enterprise Wildcats will get the first crack at the Volunteers as they travel to Montgomery to square off with Jefferson Davis. The Wildcats are 5-2 overall, 2-2 in region play, with their only loss being in close contest with Central and Prattville. The two
We believe dedication leads to excellence. Hard work achieves goals. Everyone deserves respect. Fair play and sportsmanship reveal our character. We are Auburn.
We are powerful.
We are dependable.
We are bold.
We are compassionate.
We are loyal.
We are love.
We are organized.
Unified.
Respected. We are diverse.
Innovative.
We are family.
We are proud.
We are Auburn.
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 The stage is set as number 3, Auburn High Tigers are 1 win away from a region championship. But first they will have to get through the Smith Station Panthers tonight inside Duck Sanford Stadium. Welcome to AHS Countdown. I'm your host, Hope Wisdom, and tonight's analysis are Patrick Bingham and senior Braden Gentry. Braden, what would it mean for the senior class to win a region title on senior night here at the Duck?
We can do it. It would be great to go undefeated and win a region title. That's something the seniors for them, and even the seniors for them couldn't even do. And it would be really great to achieve that here on senior night.
Patrick, what do you think has helped get the Tigers in this position, 1 win away from a region championship?
Yeah, if they win tonight, they win the region championship, and I really think, it has to be, like I said, the seniors. They played all 3 years for a lot of them, and so that really helps them get a lot of experience, especially in this COVID football we're playing right now. There wasn't a lot of off-season workouts, so you kind of needed to rely on people that have already played, and we have that, and specifically the defense. I think the last game was the first time they didn't have a safety in a game. They've had a tremendous season so far, and so is quarterback Matthew Caldwell. So it's really been a great season for the Tigers.
All right, we'll have a lot more to talk about and break down here on Countdown. But it's time for the Friday night lineup.
So we'll go ahead and start off the Friday night lineup with Dothan at Central Phoenix City. The only way Central Phoenix City can even win Region 2 is if Auburn loses the next 2 games to Smith Station and Enterprise, and Central wins out. It'll be at home as they take on the Dothan Red Wolves. They have never played before because Dothan merged. So they played the old Dothan, but not this one. Central's 5-3 this season, 4-1 in region play, got the loss to the Tigers last time we were on air. And then Dothan is 1-5, 1 COVID loss, but Dothan just hasn't had that good of a season. With the whole new school, it's been really hard for them to merge.
Our next game is Thompson at Oak Mountain. It's over there at Herdmont Park. The all-time series, Oak Mountain leads 9-7. Thompson this year is undefeated at 8-0. And they have not scored under 30 points this entire year. Oak Mountain is 6-1, 4-1 in region play. But Oak Mountain is 2-20 against 7 ranked teams. See if they can win tonight.
Another game that's being played is Enterprise at Jeff Davis in the Crampton Bowl. Jeff Davis leads the all-time series 14-9. Enterprise is 5-2, 2-2 in region play. Jeff Davis is 0-7, and this is their first year with their head coach, Rory Bell. And Auburn plays Enterprise next Friday.
And then we have the Bulldogs of Opelika traveling down the road to take on the Valley Rams at Rams Field. Last time they played in 2015, Opelika won 71-0. We'll see if anything's changed in these past 5 years for this to be a closer matchup. Opelika is 5-2 on the season, one of their losses coming here at the Duck to the Auburn High School Tigers. Valley's 4-3 with 1 COVID loss and 1 COVID win, so it's been kind of a crazy year for both teams, as it is for everybody.
Next game here is Mountain Brook, Spartan Stadium where it'll be played, and Mountain Brook this year is 6-1 with 2 COVID wins against David Hills and Huntsville. The Patriots are 5-2 with 2 COVID wins as well. The all-time series, Mountain Brook leads 18-15. The last time they played was back 9 years in 2011, and Mountain Brook won 21-14.
And of course, we have tonight's game, Smith Station at Auburn, here at Doug Sanford Stadium. Auburn is 8-0 with 2 COVID wins to Bob Jones and Riverdale. Smith Station is 3-4 and 1-3 in the region. The Tigers can clinch the region championship tonight for the first time in 2013. They lead the all-time series 23-7, and last year Auburn beat Smith Station to 35-14. So let's see if we can pull out that win tonight.
Well, it's been such a big game tonight for the Auburn High School Tigers Braden. Auburn can get that region championship for the first time since 13 when they went to the state championship in Tuscaloosa. The state championship in Tuscaloosa this year, and Braden, if the Tigers win the next 2 games, they get home field advantage all the way until they go to Ryan Stadium. What would that mean for this Tigers team?
For Auburn and all their seniors coming back to Duck Stadium with their home field, knowing that they're going to go home defending it, will be just huge. The crowd being here, they're so crazy. The senior sections that are allowed to come, they're always out loud, reckless, and you already know they're going to be ready for that game.
And then one thing cool I saw tonight that the football team put out on their Twitter page, each player got a milk jug with beads in it that they're giving to all of their parents. So it's going to be a loud one here that we watch people walk in with the milk all over their There they are right there, and it's going to be a loud atmosphere here at the Dome tonight. So it's going to be really hard for that Smith Station offense to be playing, especially against this Auburn defense.
Yeah, this Auburn defense, they have not given up over 30 points this entire season. They are really good with the whole senior class holding it down on defense. And our DBs are really good. They're going to shut down these wide receivers tonight.
Yes, Kyle Gordon specifically has had a big year, number 20. He'll be a player we're going to watch out for. And then, Hope, what did you notice pregame as all the teams kind of entered into the stadium?
I noticed that they were all ready for the Pink Out the Duck tonight at the game, and also it is senior night, so everyone had balloons, flowers, and just ready to celebrate all of their seniors tonight here at the Duck.
Yeah, for those of you that couldn't see what we just showed, which was the senior night presentation, it was a little different. The parents weren't really able to be out on the field as much. Normally they have a whole bunch of guests. But, the seniors still got to be recognized. The parents are cheering from the stadium. Braden, what do you think can really help this Auburn offense take the next step? I mean, Matt Caldwell had a great year, they're undefeated. But what do you think can really help them get the caliber? I mean, that defense is championship caliber. How can this offense get to the championship caliber as well?
I feel like a really good key here is Matthew getting good balls over to Zay, but Amari Hutchinson, he has really shown up this year. He's switched over from some running back, along with Tristan, and they're really holding down back there.
Yeah, so it's been a big year for the Tigers. They'll play next week at Enterprise, but I think it's ready for some game picks as we get ready for this big Friday night football.
It is. So, Our first game that we will pick is Dothan at Central Phoenix City. Central is 5-3 and Dothan is 1-5. Who do you think will win that one?
I feel like Dothan can come out of this one in a close one, maybe 23-21.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Red Devils in this one. I just think that they're the better team. Dothan's had some problems. You know, they didn't have any off-season practice. They merged the schools. I like Patrick Nick's squad. I mean, they looked really good last week. They got a big lead. We'll have to see if they can keep that lead against the Red Devils.
Okay, next game, Thompson at Oak Mountain. Oak Mountain is 6-1 and they have ranked 7A teams.
I think Oak Mountain is going to come out on top and knock off the Thompson, giving them the first loss this year. The defense is going to come in huge this game.
Yeah, this is a ranked top 10 matchup from the Alabama Sports Writers Association poll. It's a big game, one of the biggest games of the entire night. I'm going to have to go with Thompson this one, the defending state champions. I think they're going to get another one as they look to travel to Bryant Stadium for yet another shot at a championship game.
We have the Crampton Bowl, which is Enterprise at Jeff Davis. Jeff Davis is 0-7. This is their first year with their head coach. And Enterprise is 5-2.
Enterprise is going to have a huge win in this one because Jeff Davis is going to stay winless right here.
Yeah, I don't think Jeff Davis is very good. Auburn's up big on them here at the Duck. And then I think Enterprise Wildcat, they have a good time. And it's going to be really hard for the Tigers to go in Wildcat Stadium, a brand new Wildcat Stadium, and get a win.
We have Opelika at Valley. Opelika is 5-2 this season, and Valley is 4-3.
I feel like Opelika is going to come and win this one. They have a really good running back that we saw here at the Duck when they came over here and played us around week 2. And they're going to come out of the series.
Yeah, I'm going to also have to go with the Bulldogs in this one. Valley has a season. I like the Bulldogs over the Rams on the road.
Our next game, we have Homewood at Mountain Brook. Mountain Brook is 6-1, and the Patriots are 5-2.
I feel like the Patriots are going to get this one. They're going to try to make this now they had 9 years ago.
I'm going to have to go with Spartan. This is the kind of big year. I think they're second place in their division. I'm going to have to go with the Spartans in this one over the Patriots.
And for tonight's game, we have Smith Station at Auburn. Who do you guys is going to pull out this one?
Auburn is going to come out huge. I'm thinking the offense is going to score 50 points. They're going to absolutely throttle this Smith Station team.
Smith Station's had a tough year. Auburn has a lot of senior leadership, and I think on senior night, the seniors are going to step out and play great. There's a big crowd here tonight, and I'm going to have to go for Auburn Tigers as they look to clinch the region championship for the first time since 2013.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to AHS Countdown.
Franklin features Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama. For complete car care, trust Franklin's ASE certified technicians. And for precision collision repair, Franklin's state-of-the-art body shop can fully restore any make or model. With free estimates, insurance claims welcome, and 24-hour towing, all at one stop. Since 1970, Franklin Tire and Auto, East University Drive, across from CC's Pizza, and at FranklinAutoInc.com.
Hi, this is Bowles Pegues. It's Friday here at Riverbank and Trust in Auburn, and you can feel the buzz. Since Riverbank and Trust is focused on our community, football is something we look forward to. And since our folks are local people, we really get excited about Friday night Auburn High football. Wow, maybe too excited. Hey, come see us at Riverbank and Trust in Auburn at the corner of East University Drive and Dean Road.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Kickstart your college plans. Mini Term 2 starts October 12th. Apply and chat with an advisor today. Visit suscc.edu today. Click on Mini Term 2 registration and start racing toward that college dream.
WGZZ, Waverly, Auburn, Opelika, a broadcast service of Auburn Network Incorporated. Your Auburn High School football station. Wings 94.3. From Wings 94.3 Sports, Auburn High School football is on the air. Presented by the Orthopedic Clinic, Jeffcoat Trent, and Southern Union. Also brought to you by Russell Building Supply, Kia of Auburn, Gouge Performing Arts Center, and University Ace Hardware.
Welcome back to Duck Sanford Stadium. Scott Bagwell here, joined by Rob Pate, Chris Hummel also on site, Riley Hubbard manning the studio back in the Auburn Network studios. As I've never seen anything quite like that. We had a coin flip mid, and then we had Anthem mid coin flip, so the coin flip stopped. Auburn won the toss, and Auburn defers the option to the second half. Smith Station ran onto the field mid Anthem. Auburn normally takes the field extremely early. Now they're getting ready to take the field through the inflatable Tiger. And here they come. Auburn in the white helmets with the blue tops and the white breeches. Smith Station with the black helmets and the white pants and the white tops. And for Auburn, it's, we've talked about it a lot this week with Coach Weingarten. We've talked about it a lot here tonight. Region championship. Even though this isn't a situation where if the team on the other side wins, they win a region championship. For Auburn, this is a region title game. They were in it last year. They've been in it the last couple of years, and they've been on the short end of it. And now, a couple of things that help. One, Auburn's not playing Central. Another thing that helps for Auburn is the fact that Auburn's better than Smith's. All it is for Auburn right now is to go out and take advantage of it and take the bull by the horns and have a fast start.
Yeah, one of the things, Scott, when you're a program and you're trying to raise the standard to a certain level, and Auburn certainly has by the chance to go undefeated here at home, to go undefeated for this season. They've got all those things within their grasp, but part of that is being able to beat the teams you're supposed to beat.
Yep.
And this is one of those games that I think that this staff probably feels that's the case, and so you have to come out and do it. So, it's a great opportunity to get a region win and close out a 2020 campaign at home with all nothing but wins.
The first half kickoff is presented by Proactive Bodyworks Massage Therapy Services, reducing pain and improving function on Moores Mill Road in Auburn and at proactivebodyworks.com. Josh Housley will be kicking things off. And this is an area that Auburn would like to improve in. They want to kick the ball into the painted end zone. Is what Auburn wants to do and something they've been working on. And Owsley, at the end of last year, something that he started to do more regularly. He's only got 5 on the year so far. He will approach, and he'll boom that one away, but it will be taken at about the 6-yard line. Here comes Smith Station back the other way. There's a good block at the 20. Bouncing outside at about the 25, and a host of Auburn players is going to be there to tackle Marquise Collins, and that's where the Panthers will take over 1st and 10 at about the 27-yard line.
Yeah, you're right. Having Owsley with the ability to put that ball in the end zone takes a lot of pressure off of your special teams, your kick coverage team, and he did that a lot last year. I think that he's just getting more height on his kicks right now, and that's preventing them from getting all the way through into the painted end zone.
So now Auburn defense will come out. Defense that has played so well for most of the year. 3 receivers to the near side, a tight end attached to the top side of the formation here for the Panthers of Smith Station. Drop back, straight pass, and it's actually a screen first play, and Auburn does a great job of sniffing it out. It's going to be a loss of 2 here on the first play of the game. Smith Station, knowing that Auburn's aggressive, decides to go screen first play of the game. Auburn reads their keys and able to make a nice play.
Yeah, it's a great play call because you're trying to use that aggressiveness against a defense, a swarming defense on the first play of the game where they want to try to set a tone. But Sam Snyder heads up. He's a guy that typically comes off the edge screaming hard, but read his keys and was there to make that tackle.
Corey Milton, the quarterback for Smith Station. 3 receivers to the top of the formation. Milton calls for it, and it's just a straight quarterback keep to the near side. And Auburn does a good job. Noah Warren able to come in and chop down the quarterback. Gain of about 4 on the play. 3rd and 8 coming up.
Yeah, Auburn known for those secondary guys coming up and being great enforcers in the box, and Noah Warren shows his ability to do that. I hope my kids are watching this at home, because, kids, that's what I'm talking about, where you go low on a kid that's bigger than you and take his legs out from under him.
Yeah, you don't slow down, you don't hesitate.
Exactly.
You just go right at the kneecaps, and you take out kneecaps, the big guy's going down.
Yes, they are.
1 receiver to each side, a tight end in the game, 2 backs. Back in the backfield next to Milton. And he's going to drop back. He looks to the near side, nothing there. Auburn pressure now getting to him, and they're going to wrap him up and get a sack. Coming in and getting the play, or making a play, is Espinal, as well as number 26, who comes in for a rush in, Jimmy Vickerstaff. And Auburn defense, exactly what they needed, gets a 3 and out.
Yep, set the tone right there. Really, again, liked what Noah Warren did. He had the opportunity to get over the top and try to help with a deep pass, but saw that that the receiver had broke the pattern off, and really became a double team and forced the quarterback to pull it down for the sack.
Cole Weiss back deep for the Tigers. And there's a flag on the play at the top of the formation.
And Cole Weiss has done a nice job, inserted about midway through this season to catch punts, not looking for somebody to be flashy back there. They just want somebody to catch the ball. Right. And Auburn has struggled in that regard over the last 2 seasons. So need a steadying force back here to maintain field position when you've earned it as a defense.
9:59 left to go here in the opening quarter. Auburn High and Smith Station scoreless. Cole Weiss last game against Central able to have a nice return on a punt that set up the game-winning touchdown. End over end kick, Weiss with a late fair catch will take it, and Auburn will take over at the 40-yard line. And that's a situation where we talk about with Coach Weingarten a lot. You know, you play good defense, you have good solid special teams, not a great punt there. Now the offense has it 40 yards away from Pater.
Yeah, and in years past, that ball might hit and roll another 20 yards. And so the ability to have a guy come up and field it, and that wasn't an easy catch right there. That ball had a funny spin to it. He caught it in traffic on the back of one of his players. So, you know, that's hidden yardage in a game that I'm sure this Auburn staff is happy to salvage.
4 receivers set in the game for the Tigers to start. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the top. J.T. Rogers into the game, and he's going to flare out, and Auburn's just going to throw a little screen to him. He gets downhill in a hurry, runs through a tackle, gets close to the 30-yard line. Actually, they're going to say he stepped out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. Gain of 7 on Caldwell's first throw of the game, or 2nd and 3 coming up.
Another good call by this Auburn staff right out of the gate, trying to get their quarterbacks an easy throw, and he led Rogers perfectly on that ball to get him out wide.
That's a tougher throw than a lot of people think, being able to hit the back going forward towards the line of scrimmage. And Auburn goes with a little freeze action there, and now they'll look over to the near side. George Wright is checked into the game. 2 receivers to the top with a wing back to the left side. It's an inside handoff to Rogers. He's going to break 1 tackle, and then he's a block away, and he's going to have first down yardage as he gets across the 30-yard line to about the 26-yard line. Gain of 9 on the play. Check that, gain of 7 on the play. First down, Auburn High.
Yeah, a couple of players for Smith Station right there on the defensive front, a little banged up after that play. But J.T. Rogers, you got to love blocking for a kid like that will hit the hole that explosively.
It's a 3-man front for the Panthers. Right motion out to the right side. Rogers puts his foot in the ground. Nice backside pursuit there from the Panthers. It's going to be about a gain of 4 as Auburn inches towards the red zone. Second down coming up.
Yeah. You're right. Nice pursuit by the middle linebacker for Smith Station. Puts a big lick on J.T. Rogers, but J.T. Rogers picks up, 3-4 yards on the play. So he makes a nice cut, doesn't try to bounce it outside and run laterally. He gets north and south and puts Auburn in a manageable second down.
3-down lineman for Smith Station, not a number over 52.
Wow.
It's 52, and it's 34, and it's 44. And there's a little RPO and a nice pass and catch and a big hit there from number 10, Jordan Jones. And then Clegg able to make the play inside the the red zone now. Auburn will have it 1st and 10 at the 15. And for the first time here tonight, Auburn High is inside the Byron Smokehouse Breakfast red zone.
And look sharp doing it. Nothing going backwards. Everything just moving forward, methodically marching down this field to put that ball in the end zone.
20 touchdowns on 30 trips for the year for the Tigers. Inside handoff for Rogers. He's going to bounce outside. He's going to make one guy miss, and then he's going to be dragged down as he gets inside the 10-yard line to about the 7. That's going to be another solid play, gain of 8, as Auburn High is able to get the run game going a little bit here on the first drive of the game.
And I think, that was what we were talking about to open this broadcast tonight, was the importance of being able to establish the run, making sure that you can kind of run at will, and, just gaining some confidence before you enter playoff.
2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the top of the formation. Caldwell will have it, and another inside slant, and looking for Quay Ross. A little bit too far out in front of him, incomplete. 3rd down coming up for the first time here tonight.
But not a bad play call. You take a chance. It's open. If he puts that ball on his numbers, I think that he walks into the end zone cleanly there. But they'll go back and watch film. Quay Ross will tell you he probably should have come down with that one.
So now Auburn will send a lot of signals in. They'll switch the receivers. You'll have Quay Ross in the slot with Clegg on the outside. Zay-Ray tight to the top of the formation. Caldwell will have it. He'll hand it off to Rogers. Rogers lowers his head. He'll get across the 5-yard line. And on 3rd and 2, he's going to pick up about 2.5. Auburn's inside the 5-yard line on a first down.
And that's been the thing when we get into this spot, is trying to run between tackles. It's been a struggle since the first game that we played against Park Crossing. And, Auburn has their bread and butter down here has been the toss sweep, and J.T. Rogers has done fantastic with that. Ran it to end the game, to ice the game last week against Central, or last game against Central. But see if they can't do something between the tackles and work on that tonight.
Twin receivers to the outside, and another handoff to Rogers. Rogers is going to put his foot in the ground. He's going to run over a defender and into the end zone. And for the first time tonight, Auburn finds pay dirt and goes up 6-0 with 7:24 left to go here in the first quarter.
That's just a beautiful drive. Methodical, took what the defense gave them. They didn't try to fool anybody. They didn't try to take any deep shots. Really, J.T. Rogers just running behind that offensive line, finding green grass, and they're right there to cap it off. He does a nice job of twisting his body and getting that arm extended over the goal line for the touchdown.
Owsley on to attempt the PAT. He's only missed one that he's been able to get up in the air, and that stays the case here. With 7:24 left to go, he hits the PAT, and Auburn leads 7-0.
And that's brutal, when you're Smith Station and you come in and you come in jacked up because you got the opportunity to play the number 3 team in the state. Kind of upset the apple cart on senior night for them, and then you immediately go 3 and out, you punt it, you give them great field position, and they do nothing special. They just kind of have their will all the way down the field. That is exactly the type of opening segment that this Auburn coaching staff wanted, and these Auburn players have executed it perfectly. That was just a fantastic start to this game.
Yeah, you get 3 and out on the defensive side, and then you go right down the field. You only face 1 third down as you're going down the field, and you're able to come away with a win. And now we'll have a pause, as I guess a ball was too flat. I'm not really sure, but we have a new football coming in. Yeah, that's exactly was the case. That's fantastic.
Oh, that start was exactly the antithesis of what we saw against Central 2 weeks ago. So that's another lesson, for these guys to learn, is that you got to keep your foot on the pedal when you're up, and then you're never down. I think they learned that lesson last week, that they can't dig a hole so big that they can't climb out of, because I think both you and I thought that those guys might have done that in Central.
Owsley will approach, and he'll boom it away. High kick is going to be taken at about the 5-yard line once again on the near side. Coming back up the field and making one guy miss is the returner, and then a nice job there by the Auburn coverage team to cut down Collins once again, this time at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10, Smith Station coming.
Yeah, nice job there, and again, Owsley with a higher kick, and I think that's just part of his game now, and they could be asking him to place the ball down there, although I would imagine, like you said before the first kick, that they want to see him try to put that thing through the back of the end zone if he can.
Well, if they're trying to kick it higher, I've been lied to, because I've been told they're trying to kick it out of the back of the end zone. First and 10 coming for the Panthers. A receiver on each side. Little cross-buck action. Actually, that's a fumble, and it's going to be a fight between the quarterback and a defensive lineman to see who comes up with it. Since I don't see anybody in blue pointing towards the way of Auburn High School, Minton's able to come up with it, and it's going to be a second down and about 13, a loss of 3 on the play.
Have to watch Sam Snyder. He's kind of favoring one of those legs. I don't know if something happened to him when he was covering that kick. He's the one that made the tackle, and just saw him limping around a little bit right there on that first play. See if he can't fight through that.
Tight end set off to the left side, defense's right side. Here comes motion from the receiver, and it's a little off tackle play, and Auburn's able to get off blocks and swallow it, and that's going to be a loss of about 2 on the play. Third down and 15 coming up from the 15.
Yeah, and those are 2 guys, Scott, that we probably don't talk about enough in this defense. We talk about the defensive front a lot. We talk about these guys in the secondary a lot. But number 22, Joey McGinney, number 16, Sam Snyder, those guys operate on the edge and, have the assignment of being run force guys to make everything turn in. And they tackle well. They've played big for this Auburn defense, and I think that goes a long way to them being successful.
Minton has it, and he'll drop back. He just wants a straight go route, and they're trying to test Carson Yancey. And Carson Yancey right there almost comes up with another pick. Remember, against Opelika, he had 3 in one night. Then, due to contact tracing, he had to sit out. Now he's starting getting back into form. We saw him, Central try to take some shots, and right there, Smith Station tries to take a shot deep. And here's the thing about Carson Yancey. He can fly.
Yeah.
But a nice job of being a DB there, flip the hips, able to locate the ball and knock it away.
It sure was, right in the hip pocket of that receiver.
Punt, and it's not a good one. It's going to hit at about the 35, and then will bounce forward, now backwards, and now will be touchdown to the 36-yard line. This is something that Auburn, we've talked about it a lot this year. They've had such a huge advantage in special teams, and with 5:38 left to go, Auburn up 7-0. The defense has forced 2 3-and-outs. Poor punts coming from the other way, and now Auburn for the second time has it not only in Smith Station territory, but last time it was at the 40. This time it's right at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, special teams. I tell you, I can't remember a game that we've lost a special teams battle this year. It's so important. It's so overlooked by the common football fan. But man, the yardage that you gain, the hidden yardage that you never see, Auburn takes pride in it, and it's come up big throughout this season. 2
receivers on each set for Caldwell. Now Zay Ray in motion. Caldwell will have it, and this is a double pass. Looking for the post route for Bryson Clegg, and he's going to be tackled. That's not legal. There's your flag. And if you're talking to Zay needs to get there earlier, because that was a play to get senior Bryson Clegg a touchdown.
Yep.
And he was there. He was open. The ball just hung up in the air. Zay Ray, as a freshman, 9th grader, played quarterback. He played some his 10th grade year before moving to receiver full-time. And a nice little double pass action there. It's going to be a penalty, and there's going to be a defensive pass interference and a first down for Auburn High.
Well, he had 3 options, and Clegg was the closest pattern down the hash mark, but he also had J.T. Rogers outside the numbers, and he had somebody else down the right sideline, and they were all 3 open. He could have taken his pick, and the defensive back for Smith Station just got there too early, so Auburn's going to have great field position once again.
2 receivers to the top of the formation, 1 to the near side, and McKinnell into the game as the up back. Caldwell calls for it. And it's a freeze play, and now Auburn will look over to the sidelines for a lot of different signals coming from about 4 different coaches. And it ends up being a little RPO to Zay Ray. He's going to make a guy miss, and a nice tackle on the outside. Gain of 9 on the play. Nice job out there by Collins, the DB, to get off a block and make a tackle for our second down and 1 coming up.
Yeah, and you talk about Zay Ray and kind of how he has matriculated through this Auburn program. You can tell that he's worked really hard on his hands, because that's a ball right there that he has to go down and get. Last year, 2 years ago, I'm not sure. That's a 50-50 proposition that he pulls that in. This year he's catching them every time.
2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the top, and another RPO to Ross. He's going to make a guy miss and give him 6. And, that's a situation there as Auburn scores to go up 13-0, where you're looking to take advantage of numbers. 2-on-2 isn't really taking advantage of numbers, but Quay Ross, being the better athlete, attacks the ball with the ball in the air, makes the guy miss, and he's able to get into the end zone from about 7 yards out for the touchdown.
Yeah, early on I felt like that Clegg, Bryson Clegg was kind of the guy that had that rapport with Matthew Caldwell, and it almost feels like Quay Nelms may be the guy that or not Quay Nelms, but
Quay Ross.
Quay Ross.
As the extra point is up and good.
That Quay Ross may be the guy that is almost superseding that now.
Right.
So just a great, outstanding job. Has a one-on-one battle to get that ball in the end zone. He was operating against Jaden Tarver, a senior defensive back that was the captain tonight for this Smith Station team. So he's one of their better players, and Quay Ross just makes an outstanding move to the inside to get it over the goal line.
And that's one of those situations where Auburn High, they got a great staff and they like to scheme stuff up and things like that. But that's a dude play.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go out there and we're going to be a better dude than you on that one, and that's exactly what happened. And with 4:51 left to go here in the first quarter, Auburn High School leads 14-0.
Yeah, and you commend the offensive coaches for that. I mean, the job of the coaching staff is to put guys in position to be successful.
Yep.
And when you've got a guy that is great in open space, give him the opportunity to make a play, and that's exactly what they did down inside of an area that Auburn hasn't done outstanding things with throughout the entirety of this season. So getting confidence inside the 10-yard line is a big thing for this group.
Well, the other thing is the way that everything works nowadays. Everything gets on film. Everything gets to different teams.
Yeah.
Putting stuff on film that this guy makes plays and things like that means that you have to you got to just be prepared for more stuff.
You do.
Especially as we get close to the playoffs, and this is the last home game, second to last game of the regular season. It's time to start thinking forward to the playoffs. As Owsley's going to boot that one deep, and again, I think that one's a little bit deeper now, taking at the 4-yard line, coming up and up the field. Not a whole lot of blocking on that one, and that time the Smith Station receiver decided to try to go the long way.
Yep.
And that's one thing is if you kick it into a corner, which is what Owsley did on that one. If the opposing team has a return on to the other side of the field, that can be a tough task.
Yeah, it was, but Auburn does a nice job of being disciplined and staying in their lanes. And I'm looking down at number 17, Trey Nelms, running down as the contained man on the far sideline. Just does his job, and it's the little things that make you successful in the special teams, and he did it there.
Two running backs back next to Minton, rather. As Minton's going to throw a little bubble screen, and that looked like Hutt. Nope, it was Noah Warren who came flying up. And again, we've talked to Coach Weingarten every single week, and every single week he talks about the back seven and how fast they fly around.
And you saw it there, but it was made easier because the Smith Station front, that was supposed to be a quick pass play, and the guy is having to get rid of it like Bo Nix had to against Georgia. He was running for his life as soon as he got the ball, and so that Smith Station front has to do a better job of containing this Auburn defensive line.
Loss of 3 yards on the play as Smith Station is in the negative. They're definitely not in the black on yards right now. And little quarterback keeper, and Auburn does a good job of sniffing it out, but quarterback makes a couple of guys miss, and then pursuit gets there. It's going to pick up yards back to the original line of scrimmage. Gain of 3 on the play, 3rd and 10 coming up.
Well, Noah Warren, he could put on a clinic and sell it this first quarter tonight with the play at safety, his tackling, and the things that he's done. He's using his body like a hot knife and butter, slicing through these bigger players and just tackling with tremendous amount of success.
Minton drops back, and the defensive line's finally going to get him on top of a hold. It's going to be a sack on 3rd down, loss of 6 on the play. I didn't see who all got in there, but Auburn did bring the blitz. I see Vickerstaff, who was kind of slow getting up, as well as Brad Harper, I believe, was in there. And next week, hopefully, Auburn gets full strength, and Auburn might not get full strength until the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's kind of amazing. We're talking about Auburn winning a region championship and an opportunity for just their 3rd undefeated regular season in program history, and Auburn hasn't had their starting 22 in a game yet.
No, it has been, like we said, just so disjointed. But they're doing a great job of just dealing with adversity, and the next guy comes in, and they just play well.
Yep.
hasn't really mattered who's been out there. I mean, it's those guys just are playing to a standard that they've set.
And give the credit to that senior class and these coaches for that. Auburn kind of comes after it, and punt's going to hit at about the 35-yard line and will roll out of bounds. A 3 and out, and Auburn takes over, and we went from the 45 to the 40, or from the 40 to the 35, now to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, if you bought a ticket and you're over here, you know, on the north side of the stadium, then you had to bring your binoculars to watch this one, because it hasn't been past midfield except when Auburn's kicked the ball off. Did I get that right, Scott? Is that the north end of the stadium?
I couldn't tell you. I've been coming here my whole life. I don't know what the north, south, east, or west part of the stadium is. I just know the sun sets over there. Zay to the top of the formation. Clegg and Ross to the near side. Right in motion. Caldwell calls for it, and it's play action. Looking down the field, wants a go ball, looking for Ray. Into the corner of the end zone. Does he make the catch? Yes, he does. What a catch, what a throw, and great job there by Zay Ray to get his feet in. With 3 minutes left to go here in the first quarter, Auburn High School starting to put this thing away. A 32-yard pitch and catch from senior to senior, and Auburn leads big.
Just a beautiful play. I mean, I didn't think that he had the opportunity to get his feet down back there. He made the catch. First time his hands hit it beyond the Auburn in the back of the end zone there. So he probably only had about 3 yards to be able to get those feet in play after running full speed. So just beautiful pass and a great catch.
This is something we saw from Smith Station last year. High snap, the kick is down, the kick is up. Or the hold is down, the kick is up, that kick is good. Something that Smith Station did last year and the year before, a lot of zero high coverage, you know. And if you're going to do that, you have to take shots. And Auburn has taken numerous shots. And that time they hit. And nice play there by Zay Ray. And for Zay, that is touchdown number 4 on the year. And for Matthew Caldwell, touchdown number 9.
Well, beautiful pass, first of all, by Caldwell, because he put it where only his receiver could catch it. And, you know, like we said, Zay Ray, I don't know he makes that grab last year. I mean, that's a guy that's worked hard to hone his craft, and it's really paying off big dividends for this team, because that was a tremendous catch, tremendous footwork, and just a beautiful play.
Correction, that is touchdown number 10 for Matthew Caldwell, as he's picked up numerous. I know FCS offers. I know Jacksonville State's offered him. I think Gardner Webb did, as well as Austin Peay.
Good for him.
As he's starting to get his recruiting pick up.
Yeah, another guy that has just taken his game to another level. I mean, he's not the same kid he played as last year.
No.
And it's very evident that his teammates believe in him, and he can make any throw on this field.
He's a kid that worked very, very hard during quarantine and during that time on to get himself better and ready for this season. Owsley approaches, line drive kick. He pulled it a little bit, and that one will go into the end zone, though. As you can see, the coaches who were celebrating on the sideline as Auburn gets that touchback. Smith Station with negative 17 total yards on the night, and Auburn leads 21-0.
Yeah, you can see Coach Weingarten over there giving Owsley the fist pump and congratulating him on getting that ball through. These coaches don't want to have to defend these kickoff returns. I mean, they know how big a momentum shift that can be for a team to break one open, and they don't want to have to contend with that.
As the other thing is, as you start looking forward, is Smith Station wants to go a little pass over the middle, and if you're going to throw something short and then attempt to make a play or something like that, you better not do it over the middle of the field, because these safeties drive, and they drive hard.
Yeah, they do. And Noah Warren's been everywhere tonight. Number 9 roaming the middle of the field. I really like he's almost got the freedom to operate how he wants to, and what I mean by that, he's got such confidence tonight in his corners to be able to handle things vertically that he's almost breaking off and playing things underneath. And so if they're going to run a deep dig, or they're going to run a hook route or something back towards the middle of the field, he's there to cut it off and make a play.
2:52 left to go, and a little off-tackle play, and unfortunately didn't block the DN, or the DN just made the guy miss. It's going to be a loss of 1 on the play. 3rd and 11 coming.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can't block them all when you've got guys that you can count on in the back end to hang with receivers, and when you don't fear being beat deep, then you're gonna overload the box, and you're gonna bring more people than they're capable of putting bodies on. And Auburn does that. They suffocate you. These safeties are only 6 yards deep, and you know, they just don't have fear right now that somebody's going to beat them over the top.
And with high school rules, you know, no commercials, no media timeouts, defenses And the offense, even for that matter, not a whole lot of opportunity to – it's going to be a pass interference, as I guess the defensive back on that one was Amari Hutchinson, got there a smidge early.
Yeah.
And even, I mean, thing is it – it's 3rd and 11. I don't know if – and now we have a flag on the near play. On the near side, as the official immediately turns around and starts talking to players. And I don't know if that was a get back or if somebody said something that that drew the flag. 2:06 left to go here. Auburn leads 21-0 over Smiths.
Yeah, it didn't look like the typical, warning where he was jawing back and forth, it looked like, with one of the Auburn coaches. And
the problem is there was no coach, so I think a player said something, because it wasn't a sideline warning. It was a unsportsmanlike conduct flag. So Coach Weingarten is having a conversation with him, and now he's looking for somebody. If I was a player who said something to draw the ire, I would be hiding. And now it might have been just a strict get back thing, because every single player has been told to get way back.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, I think I know exactly what the issue is. There is a miscommunication about what line coaches and everybody are allowed to be on. There is a black line that is the soccer line that has been the rule for everything, but now all of a sudden it looks like that the Auburn players need to be back on the white line, which is
way back.
Yeah. And under center, reverse coming, and here comes Hutt trying to make a play, and that's going to be a block in the back, and then goodness. As that was Nasir Pogue who came flying up, and again, tackling the kneecaps. You take away the kneecaps, they can't go anywhere, and that's what happened there. But it's going to be coming back for a block in the back.
I'm just amazed at how accurate they are with that. I mean, I don't know. That wasn't the way we were taught to do it. We were always high. It was an ugly tackle. Many times you got ran over because you went high. They drug you a couple of yards a lot of times. But our coaches never wanted us to leave our feet. These guys do it.
And they don't miss
so nonchalantly, but man, I mean, it's they're so accurate with where they end up tackling these guys. It's so impressive.
I guess the thought process there is if they're going to jump over you, we're going to have enough people flying around that they're not going to go anywhere. And also, it's not like they're going at the shoes. No. They're going at the lowest is the kneecap, so they're normally able to get the tackle. And little pump action, throwing it to the near side. Carson Yancey, that's fantastic coverage. Incomplete on the play, and it was 1st and 25, now 2nd and 25. And, Auburn, hopefully next week, they're going to get Quay Nelms back, and you're talking about Auburn having 3 corners who have played very, very good football.
And that's the hidden gem in all of this is that you're getting so many guys great game experience and reps and building confidence. And these guys have played in some meaningful football games when some of your better players have had to sit out and watch. So I think that'll be advantage Auburn when they are full speed.
The other thing is with a group with so many seniors, Yancey and Pogue playing so well as they come back next year, and here comes a screen, and Auburn, they overrun it and then they smell it, and now they come out and now they're able to track it down. There's going to be a horse collar there. As to be honest with you, it wasn't a horse collar because the tackle was not made by the horse collar.
Yeah.
It was literally what you do with your younger sibling when they're running away from you and you want to catch them and beat them up. You pull a hand out and you snatch them back to you, or a parent with a kid who's trying to run away. That's what happened there. The hands never got inside the shoulder pad. They got inside the jersey, and it's going to be 15 yards from the end of the run. I'm not sure what's an automatic first down anymore, though, so we'll see what the call is. It should be 3rd down if it's not an automatic first. Smith Station does get into across the 50-yard line, though. Or is that 2nd down? I guess it was 2nd down.
Oh, it was a good job by Auburn rallying back on a middle screen right there. Just unfortunate placement of the hand.
And again, motion, wanting to throw the ball downfield, and Noah Warren right there. Great job, has inside leverage, doesn't let the receiver come back to the ball at all, and incomplete pass, 3rd and 4 coming.
Yeah, the secondary's been in the back pocket, I mean, right in the hip the entire time. Even the play prior to the personal foul that we just had, Carson Yancey had done a nice job. He had gotten his hips kind of turned the opposite way, but located the football, used his hand to bat that ball away, and you know, these guys have really made outstanding plays on the football tonight.
Under center look on 3rd and 4. And a little belly right up the middle, makes one guy miss, and then 2 other guys right there, Powell Gordon and Cam Reese there to make the play. It's going to be no gain on the play, 4th and 4.
Yeah, Smith Station just goes with another look, just not having a lot of success through the air, and that Auburn defensive front just ate it up. Nowhere to go. Guy tries to bounce it all the way down the line, and no matter which hole he tries to cut it up in, there's a blue shirt standing there to end that.
It's a go-for-it call, right?
You would think it is, you know, unless they're thinking maybe they want to try to pin Auburn deep, since Auburn hasn't had to contend with poor field position yet.
Yeah, but the normal kick only is going to put this thing at about the 25. Snap is back. There's a kick, and it's going to hit and roll, and Auburn will be pinned inside the 15, rolling to about the 10. And that's where it'll be touched dead. And for the first time tonight, Auburn's not only going to take over inside their own territory, they'll take over deep inside their own territory. It'll be 1st and 10 at about the 11-yard line.
Auburn forced to overcome some of their self-inflicted wounds on that drive right there. First time Smith Station's able to cross midfield, and they do it solely on the back of Auburn penalties. So, you know, these guys have to clean that kind of stuff up. You get up 21 points on a team, and you don't want to start doing things to give them any confidence, and certainly don't want to move the ball for them.
Absolutely not. 12.6 left to go here in the quarter. Auburn High leads 21-0. Caldwell in the gun, and it's like a bunch of meerkats down for the count, and then they come and they look over to the sideline. Caldwell back in the shotgun, and play action wants the go route, and miscommunication between Ross and Caldwell is. And really, that's a situation where I think that's kind of a choice route where, you know, if the safety's over, you can run the post, and look like Quay wanted to break it off to the post. Caldwell threw it outside instead, and it's going to be incomplete with 5.5 left to go here in the first quarter, as Auburn now faces a 2nd and 10.
We'll see if Auburn has the ability to stay patient like they did in that first drive and just methodically send one down the field.
Outside handoff to Rogers. Rogers, nice cut. And he's going to get across the 15 to about the 17-yard line, gain of 6. That's going to set up a 3rd and 4, and that'll be the end of the first quarter of play. 21-0 our score here after 1 quarter of play. We'll be back in about 1 minute. You're listening to Auburn High School Football on Wings 94.3.
Hi, football fans. I'm Kelly Watkins with Glenn Smith and Opelika. We love this time of the year with all the excitement of football. We also love that Glenn Smith can play a part in supporting high school sports. We salute the teams, coaches, bands, the cheerleaders, and of course the families and fans. We are proud to be your Chevrolet Buick GMC dealer for East Alabama and West Georgia. Online 24/7 at glennsmith.com. Glenn Smith Chevrolet Buick GMC, get ready to smile.
Experience and knowledge from the pros. Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply.
Russell Building Supply is your hometown home center. At our new location, any do-it-yourselfer can find the tools and brands you need, no matter the job. And as a Best Rewards member, you'll enjoy special deals, exclusive offers, and much more. Russell Building Supply.
Experience and knowledge from the pros.
East University in Auburn.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply.
Across from Cary Creek Publix.
Classic hits and Auburn High School football. Wings 94.3.
Welcome back to Duck Sanford Stadium. Scott Bagwell here, joined by Rob Pate, Chris Hummel up in the press box as well, and then Riley Hubbard back at the Auburn Network studios. 21-0 in our score. Auburn facing a 3rd and 3. There's their second 3rd down that they faced on the Knights. As Auburn has had a 40-yard drive for a touchdown, a 35-yard drive for a touchdown, and a 32-yard drive for a touchdown.
And these are the important critical plays that this offense needs to be able to sustain drives, to build the confidence for going forward, that getting in these situations is when you want to turn it up and somebody's going to make a play, and you just have to be efficient right here. Possess the football. Don't put that defense back on the field, and just steadily prod your way down the field, and we'll see if we can't convert this thing here.
2 receivers to the top of the formation, 1 to the near side. Creighton Williams in at up back. JT Rogers next to Caldwell. 10 seconds left to go on the play clock. And inside handoff. Rogers is going to bounce it out. Now he'll try to cut up. He'll get close to the 20. He needed to get to about the 22-yard line, so it looks like Auburn's going to have to punt.
Yep, and Auburn tries to go over tackle right there, and I get it. I mean, that's what they need to improve on, and I think they want to work on it in this game situation and see if they can't rectify some of those things. But come up about 2 yards short, and they're going to have to punt it away and see if we can't flip field position.
11:20 and counting left to go here on 4th and 2. Also, maybe Coach is feeling froggy and fakes it.
Hey, man, I never doubt Coach Weingard.
4th and 2 from the 19. There's a snap to Rhodes. Rhodes averaging 45 yards a kick, misses that one, and it's going to be fumbled. And I believe, it looked like Auburn was going to have the opportunity to recover it, but then it looked like it might have squirted out again. Nobody has any clue who has it right now. There's no signal. And Smith Station will retain possession.
Yeah, Auburn had a shot. You're right. It bounced off of the returner and right into the arms of an Auburn defender, and it just kind of slipped right on through. Matthew Rhodes kicks a tough ball to have to field. He typically gets a lot of height on it, a lot of spin on it. Not one of his better kicks right there, but still always a challenge to field that ball cleanly.
If he's not 7A punter of the year, then it's rigged. Little quarterback keeper right up the middle. Nice job there by the Auburn defense of swarming. It's going to be a gain of a couple on the play. They're going to be second about 8.
Yeah, good job there by that front wall of Auburn defenders, and then big Lee Gregg just kind of washes everything away as he gets to come up and clean things out.
Two receivers to the near side, a tight end to the top of the formation, 2 backs back in the backfield by Minton. Minton has it and throws it to the near side, and there's a great job of keeping leverage, and then a nice tackle there by Amari Hutchinson. It's going to bring up about a 3rd and 3. We've had a conversation on the way to Central about how difficult it is to have the twins away from the tight end. Now, if you're under center, that's a different thing. What does that change? Is it get easier with the shotgun and 2 running backs back next to the quarterback, or is it still just cause issues for the defense?
It causes issues just because of the leverage that it creates for trying to fit the coverage to the front.
As a little out route.
Oh.
Yeah, the double coverage, the corner and the safety, Hutchinson and Pogue, both saw that one coming and jumped on the out route. Incomplete, 4th and 3 coming up.
Well, and that's what we talked about earlier. These safeties are really playing underneath. I mean, it's almost like it's a double cover. They're letting the corners take anything deep, and they're cutting off any kind of post, any middle route. And even that time, since Amari Hutchinson was on the hash mark, he's able to drive hard on an out route and get a play there. Almost had a pick. Want to see if he becomes active in the offense tonight. So far, it's been JT Rogers as the tailback. Amari Hutchinson's been sharing that load here over the last couple of weeks, and maybe this second quarter he'll have the opportunity some.
Punt for Smith Station, and got it off. High end over end kick. It's going to hit, and will be down at about the 2-yard line. So Auburn was in punt safe, didn't really have anybody back. Noah Warren is back there, and he just lets it bounce. And right now, Smith Station, they got some penalties by Auburn early in a couple of drives ago, able to move the ball, and now instead of Auburn taking over at the 40-yarder in, Auburn's taken over twice inside their own 10.
And it's good work. It's a good opportunity to get the ball, with your back against your own end zone and see if you can't put a lengthy drive together. Just like that first drive. I mean, we did nothing special. We didn't try to trick anybody. We didn't run something that was odd. We just lined up and just whooped them, and we'll see if we can't get back to that.
Looks like Hutt is in the backfield next to Caldwell. 9:35 left to go here in the second quarter. Auburn High leads 21-0. Caldwell in the gun, twins to the near side, and Auburn just drops back and looking for a go route, and he has Zay Ray open. He comes back to the ball. He goes through the defensive pass interference. That's going to be a gain of 40 and an Auburn first down.
Yeah, it was great physical awareness, and you know, Zay Ray had to stop and come back. That was underthrown by Matthew Caldwell, which you know, may have been intentional to give his guy the opportunity to do that. But a lot of contact going down there, and Zay Ray was able to fight it off and come up with a big catch here.
More subs coming in for Auburn High, and that's one way to fill position. You know, every person that calls plays, you get stuck back in your own. You know, you can either be conservative and run it, and if you got a really good back, you know, why not just turn around and hand it off? Or you can close your eyes and throw it deep, and Auburn does that and gets 40 yards, and now there's some type of stoppage.
Smith Station called a timeout.
And never a good thing when you see 3 officials heading over to the far side to have a conversation with the head coach. We'll go ahead and take this break with him. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Auburn High School football on Wings 94.3.
Whether you're a senior golfer or pro athlete, high school football player or little league superstar, injuries are sometimes just part of the game. When it happens, it's nice to know the Orthopedic Clinic is here to get you back in action. The team of physicians at the Orthopedic Clinic offer the latest in treatment, procedure options, and complete rehabilitation for knees, hips, ankles, spine, and more. Don't let aches and sprains or more serious orthopedic issues keep you on the sideline. Visit theorthoclinic.com and schedule an appointment today.
Auburn High School football on Wings 94.3. Now that's classic.
Welcome back, and this whole timeout that Smith Station has taken, there's been a conversation going on between Mike Glisson, the head coach over for Smith Station, and the officials.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what it was about. Three receivers to the top of the formation, a solo receiver to the near side. Too high look for the Panthers of Smith Station. Into the backfield is Hutt. Now he'll bounce out to the far side, and Caldwell has it, and it's a screen to the near side to Ross. He's got some space, cuts upfield, and has his first down, makes another guy miss, close to the 40-yard line, and that seemed like a situation where if he wouldn't have had any blockers, he might have got more.
Right.
Because it looked like the offensive line kind of got in his way. Big gain on the play, gain of 18 to the 40-yard line, first down Auburn High.
Well, the neat part about that was all the flow was to the wide side of the field, and they set that up beautifully. And the job that Quay Ross is doing with yards after the catch now has really become a big deal for this Auburn offense.
That's well, I guess he's the slot, so he's allowed to move. As VJ went a little bit early, inside handoff, and now Caldwell in trouble. And he's going to do a good job of throwing it away. Unfortunately, if a official, I don't know how the umpire look, as an offensive coach who draws up some RPOs, I like the leeway. That pass lands 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage or beyond the line of scrimmage. There's a lineman who literally had to walk past the umpire who was 7 yards downfield. Auburn got away with one there.
Well, and the Smith Station coaches were frustrated because the slot man, he jumped, but his route had him moving lateral to the line of scrimmage, so he never actually crossed into the neutral zone, and they don't call it.
And handoff up the middle to Hutt. Hutt does a good job. Goodness, he makes a nice cutback to make one guy miss, and then he gets to contact and runs through that tackle for another couple of yards. It's going to be a gain of 7 on 2nd and 10, brings up a 3rd and 3.
Yeah, both of these guys, JT Rogers, Amari Hutchinson, those guys run with a lot of authority. Shifty guys. He was able to stop on a dime right there and just cut back to the opposite direction. Not a lot of kids could do that, and he made it look easy.
2 receivers to the top. Caldwell has it. Handoff inside, and not going to get it.
Yeah, but you can tell Auburn's really trying to work that over tackle. I mean, they want to be able to have success right there, and it's for whatever reason it's been a struggle most of the season, and almost like they're using this as an opportunity to see if they can't rectify that tonight.
4th and 2. Coming. 4 down lineman for Smith Station now. Auburn goes hard count, now looks over to the near side with 12 seconds left to go on the play clock. And timeout, I believe, called by Smiths. We'll take it with them. 7:19 left to go here. Auburn High School leads 21-0. We'll take this timeout with them. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Auburn High School football on Wings 94.3.
We are all adjusting to this crazy, ever-changing world of ours.
So when they do that,
but no matter what changes, there are some things that we can count on. A technical skill means more income. College classes mean more opportunity. And Southern Union State Community College can help you affordably prepare for the future. Visit suscc.edu today. Click on Fall Registration. It's an ever-changing world, and Southern Union can help you make the absolute most of it.
Classic hits and Auburn High School football. Wings 94.3.
7:19 left to go here, and now we'll take a look at the Franklin Tire and Auto scoreboard. 21-6 Central over Dothan, number 7 Central. Enterprise and Jeff Davis are playing on Saturday. 34-0 Daphne over Murphy. That game was played yesterday. Those scores brought to you by Franklin Tire and Auto. Friendly servers from Franklin on East University Drive across from CC's Pizza. 4th and 2 coming up here for the Tigers.
Smith Station knows how important this drive is. That's why they call timeout. Try to get set and see if they can't get a stop and get something going for themselves before the half.
And Auburn once again goes hard count. Now they'll look over to the near side. Just straight ISO. Well, it looked like it was going to be ISO. Now it's a throw over the middle, and Auburn finds senior Bryson Clegg. He's going to race into the end zone. The senior, for the first time this year, finds pay dirt, and the Tigers lead 27-0.
Yeah, just a great play call, and Bryson Clegg beats his man inside on play action. It's man-to-man coverage, and those guys, knowing that it's 4th and 2, Auburn's likely to keep that ball on the ground, and instead they pull it out and throw a nice little ball right over the top. Little post action, and he's able to walk into the end zone untouched. Just a sure-handed receiver. He's made a lot of big catches this year.
7:13 left to go when the extra point is up, and that extra point is good. 7:13 left to go here. Auburn leads 28-0, and now we talk about these senior group of receivers, and they are really, really good. And then you can add Cole Weiss, who's played very well since coming back from an injury earlier in the year. And now they all have a touchdown, and that's 11 touchdown tosses now for Matthew Caldwell on the year.
Yeah, and Bryson Clegg, like we said earlier, I mean, he was his go-to guy early in the season, and for good reason. I mean, he made some sensational catches and really kept a lot of drives going. And for a large portion early on in the season, he was about the only thing Auburn could get established offensively. So good to see Matthew Caldwell finding other guys he can distribute it to, but also good to see a guy like Bryson Clegg be able to stick with it, be able to make a big play, and I foresee that he's going to have a big role and be an important piece to this Auburn offense once they get into the playoffs.
Bryson Clegg also a heck of a basketball player, as we are 3 weeks away coming from basketball season being underway. Auburn opens with Prattville on November 9th. Also, other sports are wrapping up, getting to the playoffs. Volleyball starts in the playoffs next week, and the Auburn High School Lady Tigers won another area championship earlier this week, knocking off Smith Station. And that kick will be taken at about the 8-yard line, coming right up the middle. And nice little cutback and good field position coming here for Smith Station as they'll get it across the 30-yard line right about the 32.
And that's the thing about recovering a kick. It just takes one time where you let your guard down. If you're supposed to run around your block to the right, one person chooses to go to the left, and you open up a big lane. It's doing those plays and not doing them properly that can create some big opportunities for momentum swings. And so Auburn's done a nice job, but really the best return that Smith Station's had tonight was on that play there.
I formation with a tight end to the near side, solo receiver on each side. And it's just a tall sweep out to the near side, and Auburn does a great job of bottling that one up. It's going to be a gain of about 1. And no, Not really. It's going to be no gain on the play, 2nd and 10 coming.
Well, that time, Joey McGinty, number 22, does a nice job as the run force guy of attacking the blocker while also maintaining leverage. I mean, he destroyed the lead blocker on that play, but he also made the running back cut the ball up into where all of his friends were. So fantastic job of knowing your role, sacrificing your body, being selfless, not getting credit for the tackle, but really being the guy that made the play.
Jordan McGinney, another Auburn basketball player. And there comes a little motion to the far side, and it's a little jet pass, and Noah Warren comes up, and he'll force, and he'll make the tackle, and guess what? Noah Warren's also a basketball player. There's a flag coming as the defensive end who was forcing the play. I believe that was Cam Reese, got held on it, and Auburn still made the play. I believe Auburn will probably decline it to set up a 3rd and long.
But see, Bryson Clegg, he could be a defensive guy. I mean, if I were a defensive coach, I would be fighting to get number 13 on my side. I can assure you of that.
Because this secondary needs help?
No, because he's got that mentality that he can come up, and he's a smart, you can tell he's a savvy player, and I know that the Auburn basketball coaches, Coach Brandt, he likes these defensive-minded guys for this Auburn high school football team to come out and make his team tough. He doesn't want to field a bunch of offensive guys.
And Auburn actually takes the holding penalty, so it's going to set up a 2nd and very long. 2nd about 19 from the 23-yard line. 2 receivers into the game, actually 3 receivers into the game. 2 to the top of the formation, 1 to the near side. Backs right next to Minton. Minton drops back, and he just wants to go route. That's going to be picked. And it's going to be Carson Yancey once again. Stop throwing to him. Yeah. And Auburn's going to take over at about the 47-yard line. That is pick number 4 on the year. On top of coming into today's game, he had 4 pass breakups. I think he had 2 or 3 already, and give him a pick right there, and Auburn High will take over.
Yeah, he's got great hands, and maybe even something that Auburn the offensive coaches want to look at, another guy that could be a weapon because of the sureness of his hands. Smith Station, really, that was their best job of protecting the quarterback on that play. He had a pocket to step up in. He had plenty of time, and he just threw it in a place that was a poorly thrown ball that Carson Yancey really made a very simple interception to get his 4th of the year.
Yeah, Yancey, the spring before his sophomore season, spinning at running back. So he spent some time on the offensive side before being moved to defensive back. And there's a handoff to Rogers. Rogers, a nice little spin move and not getting a whole lot of help from his friends, and he's going to fight, scratch, and claw his way, but still lose 3.
Yeah, probably Smith Station's best effort to stop the Auburn offensive rushing attack right there, as they get a lot of guys into the Auburn backfield, and really just a lot of nothing for Auburn on that play.
Cole Weiss coming into the game, so a 4-receiver set here for the Tigers. 2-by-2 look coming now. Nope, check it. 3 receivers to the top of the formation. That is the left side of the formation. Tristan Pittman checking in the game late for J.T. Rogers.
Well, J.T. Rogers just never looked like he got his bearings after that play. They kind of was yanking on his helmet a little bit, and he looks like he's still trying to get put back together.
A little RPO, kind of it's a nice little rub action off of a power look on that one. Gain of 12.5 on 2nd and 12. First down Auburn High as Clegg finds the open spot.
Yeah, and Tristan Pittman's a guy that needs to be productive in this offense. I mean, you just look at him from up here in the press box. He's built like a bowling ball. I mean, he's nothing but shoulder pads and thighs, and he should be a short yardage guy that ought to be able to pick up, first downs on critical third down situations and running just like that.
5'10", 220 is the senior running back, and Auburn gets a nice push up front, and then Tristan Pittman runs hard right behind him and hits a linebacker and then goes forward a couple of yards. It's going to set up a 2nd and about 5 after a 5-yard gain on first down.
Well, he looks a lot better running straight downhill than he does going sideways and trying to slash like the other 2 guys do. He's not a slasher. He's a north and south guy, and he may be the answer for in between the tackles for what Auburn's lacked in.
Caldwell has it, and he'll hand off to Pittman. Pittman cuts upfield and is going to be tripped up. He's going to get to about the 39-yard line. Check that. To about the 36-yard line. Gain of 3, 3rd down and about 2 coming up. A lot of shifting and moving going on. And Auburn goes under center, boot action. They want the throwback screen, and not there, and it's going to be picked. And Caldwell gets up, and he was able to kind of chase it down. Nice job there by number 52, Malik Harris, 6'1", 265, the junior. Smelled a rat.
Yeah.
And able to stay at home and get the pick.
Well, Auburn trying to get a throwback screen right there to number 6, J.T. Rogers, and Matthew Caldwell was under duress. He had a defensive lineman that had him by the hips, and he was just going to try to get the ball over the top anyways and couldn't put enough on it and threw it right into the waiting hands of that defensive lineman that had read the play. So nice play by them, and another opportunity for Smith Station with good field position right before the half to see if they can't put some points on the board. And a good opportunity for Auburn defensively to come out after a sudden change and get the ball back themselves.
Under center play action, and goodness,
wow.
Hello, who was that? That's Joey Mcginney. Goodness, he came off the edge, didn't block him, and the quarterback, whose eyes were downfield, he just got a face full of Joey. Loss of about 8 on the play, second down.
Yeah, he's playing, I think, his best game all season tonight, because I talked about him last drive with his run force and the ability to come up and make the play, and that time he decided he was just going to make it on his own. And you're right, nobody blocked him, and he made the quarterback pay.
Second and 17 as Smith Station goes under center once again, and trying to go play action, throw it deep once again. Picked. Noah Warren has it, and he's at the 30, he's at the 35, at the 40, coming back to the near side, looking for a block, and he's going to cut up and be tackled there, and Smith Station got one and then gave it right back. Noah Warren with the pick, and Auburn will take over at the right at the 38-yard line. Two basketball players making plays back-to-back. First down, Auburn High.
There you go, Coach Brandt. They're doing it for you, man. They're ready to go and make you tough. But, yeah, I mean, that Auburn defensive backfield those plays are made right there because of what happened up front and just the pressure that they're getting on the Smith Station quarterback. And but those Auburn defensive backs really, really reading the ball well, reading the eyes, and breaking on the ball, making plays. And Noah Warren wants to try to get in the action and see if he couldn't pick up something as well.
He's a really good receiver as well. And also, just a score from the ALCS top 7. Houston leads Tampa Bay 7-1. That looks like it's going to a game 7. Caldwell play action. He'll drop back, and the running back moved. That's going to be a false start. Also some scores. Top 25 action in college football. SMU down 31-27. That game in the fourth quarter to Tulane. And later on tonight, BYU will play Houston unless that game gets postponed, because if Houston's involved, there's a chance that game's not going to be played.
That's been a bear for them to try to get anything going with their program. You're right.
2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the top. First and 15 coming. Caldwell has it, and he'll hand it off inside to Rogers. Rogers breaks it outside, and now he's going to cut it up inside, and he's going to get close to the 50-yard line and almost have his first down. Gain of about 14, and second and 1 coming up. Nice run there by Rogers. He'll come up a little bit lame on the play, and Mari Hutchinson will have to check in.
I do like the play call and Auburn trying to pick it up on the ground. A perfect opportunity to bleed the rest of this half off of the clock and see if you can't go down methodically and punch one in right before the half.
Caldwell hands it off to Hutt. Hutt makes the guy miss, cuts it up the middle, and now looks to make one more cut, and it slips a little bit. He has it across the 50 and a gain of 16 and a first down for Auburn High. Nice. Hutt, he's a great athlete, but you've talked about the move from backer to safety. I was surprised by him being this efficient at the running back spot. And now we'll have it again, another great cut, and he'll spin away from a tackle across the 30 to the 29-yard line, a gain of 6 as we approach 2 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Auburn High leads 28-0.
Well, I mean, it obviously requires a tremendous amount of athleticism, which he has, but you got to be a smart football player to do everything that he's doing. And the vision that he's showing back there to make some of these cuts is phenomenal.
Inside handoff once again. Nice patience there. Runs hard. He's going to get stopped off, and Auburn wanted a face mask or a quicker whistle. And it's going to be a third down and about 1 or 2 coming up.
Yeah, like you just said it. I mean, he the patience that he shows right there for a guy that's not a full-time tailback was really phenomenal. But just on this drive, his ability to see the hole, to shift, get into a new running lane, finish with pad level where it should be, and just having a great game running that football.
Smith shows blitz, and now they drop back and wanting to go route, looking outside, going up, making a play. Did he make a play? Did he make the catch? Yes, he did.
Wow.
Holy cow. What a play in the corner of the end zone by Bryson Clegg, able to go up and make the catch. His second touchdown of the night. Auburn High leads 34-0 now.
Well, and you see Matthew Caldwell, he knows that he got away with one right there, because I think he thought that Bryson Clegg was running away from the defender, and the defender was just kind of in a flipping his hips to get back in position. He turned his head, and he was right there to make the play, and it became just a 50-50 ball that his guy won. And good for Bryson Clegg to come back and have 2 touchdowns here in this first half.
Owsley on to attempt the PAT. Snap down. Hold is good. Kick is up, and that kick is good. With 59 seconds left to go here in the first half, Auburn High leads this one by a score of 35-0.
But always like the aggressiveness, like the fact that that this Auburn offense is willing to take the shots. That Matthew Caldwell believes in his guys enough to lay it up there and let them go get it. So frustrating, I think, offensively for not having the opportunity to be able to make a play because the quarterback just throws it out of bounds,
right.
Throws it out in the end zone. And Matthew Caldwell does a good job of letting guys go up and make a play.
Yeah, and I mean I think that's a big thing that's happened this year with Auburn. And really, we saw it against Central, a couple of throw-it balls and give your receiver a chance to make a play. Auburn High has 3 receivers that are very good at adjusting the ball in Zayray, Quay Ross, and Bryson Clegg. And, if they're going to leave them on islands out there, give them a chance to go make a play, and that's what's happened.
Well, that play, it just looked like that Bryson Clegg was going to be by himself in the corner of the end zone, and all of a sudden, as Caldwell released it, that Smith Station defensive back made a good turn to get back in position to make a play, and his receiver just made a great play for him.
And Auburn was offsides, I believe. And as we have this pause for the penalty, we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Auburn High School football on Wings 94.3.
WGZZ, Waverly, Auburn, Opelika, a broadcast service of Auburn Network Incorporated. Your Auburn High School football station, Wings 94.3.
Welcome back to Duck Sanford Stadium. Scott Bagwell here, joined by Rob Pate and Chris Hummel up here in the Auburn Network studios. Riley Hubbard back at, or Chris Hummel joins us here in the press box. Riley Hubbard is back in the Auburn Network studios. Make sure you stay tuned at halftime. We'll have analysis, stats, and scores as well. And also Chris Hummel will pull double duty. He'll go over some stuff here, and then he'll go down and talk with head coach Adam Weingarten as his team has a 35-0 lead here as we are 1 minute away from halftime. And they have the Auburn Tigers. There's not a whole lot to complain about with this first half of play.
Right. Been a fantastic first half at every phase.
Auburn will kick that one off, and it'll be taken at about the 18-yard line. Going to the far side now, right up the alley. Auburn does a good job. It looked to be of setting the edge. They definitely made sure they didn't get outside, as Gore's going to be the return man, and Smith Station will take over at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, lots of opportunities for Joshua Owsley to kick off tonight in this first half, and not going to get one in the end zone when you jump off sides and you have to kick one from the 35-yard line. But given that kickoff cover team the opportunity to go out and get some nice reps, and it's like Smith Station's just going to go to victory formation here.
And just straight quarterback sneak right up the middle. He's going to gain about 4 on the play. Did Auburn call a timeout? Yeah, they did. So, well, if you're going to sneak it, we're going to call timeouts and try to get the ball back. Interesting, or just not interesting, but just a little bit of a note down in Mobile. Williamson is playing Viger, and there's no power at Ladd People Stadium.
Oh, wow.
That's
it's not good.
It's always something fun to have to deal with. We're trying to track down scores, in particular the Fairhope game. We haven't been able to find a score. What's going on there? Are they playing Baker tonight, Chris? Yeah, they're playing Baker. That's a playoff game, or playoff seeding game.
Yeah.
Theodore looks like they're going to have the 1 seed wrapped up. They've knocked off Daphne and Fairhope. Daphne looks like they're going to be the 2. If Fairhope takes care of business the rest of the season, they should be the 3, because the 3 teams vying for 2 spots are Baker, Fairhope, and Murphy. And Auburn, if they hang on to the 35-0 lead they have, Auburn will be at home against the 4 seed of that Region 1. And I think it's going to come down to Baker and Murphy, and Baker's already knocked off Murphy. So if those 2 tie, it'll be Baker, because I think Fairhope is by far better than those 2 teams. But as we're getting towards the end of the season, and another quarterback's and a little tall sweep, nice little tricky play there, and Joey Mcginney comes by. It's going to be a first down, and that's going to let Smith Station run out the clock if they want to.
Another big hit right there. Smith Station running back went around right end on a quick pitch, and Joey McGinty just absolutely upended him, somersaulted him over the first down marker, but it was a big hit by him.
So a gain of about 5 on the play. First down. Now this is old school, about as old school as it gets. A rugby scrum, if you will. And I think Auburn at this point in time is going to let it go to the half.
Well, their 2 rugby scrums were 2 of their best offensive plays of the first half.
That's not a good thing.
No, it's not.
Gain of 3 on the play, and that'll do it for Smith Station's drive, and that'll do it for the first half of play as Auburn High School has a lead of 35-0 heading.
We believe dedication leads to excellence. Hard work achieves goals. Everyone deserves respect. Fair play and sportsmanship reveal our character. We are Auburn.
We are powerful.
We are dependable.
We are bold.
We are compassionate.
We are loyal.
We are love.
We are organized.
Unified.
Respected.
We are diverse.
Innovative.
We are family.
We are proud.
We are
Auburn.
We are Auburn.
We are Auburn.
We are Auburn.
Welcome to the AHS Halftime Show, where we will be giving you a quick rundown of what has happened in the first half and our predictions for the next half.
Alrighty, so a great half for the Tigers. Auburn leads 35-0 in blowout fashion as we, finished the first half of senior night. Auburn's 1 half away from getting a region championship for the first time since 2013. So we started off, it seemed like the entire game was on Auburn's side of the field. Smith Station could never cross the 50. Braden, what did you think that meant for Smith Station? I mean, they could just never get good field position.
That Auburn defense, they forced 3 3-and-outs to start the game, and it really got them going. And Matthew Caldwell had some good passes to Quay Ross and Zayray for a few touchdowns in the first quarter.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into our recap. JT Rogers scored Auburn's first touchdown in the first quarter with 7:24 left in the first quarter. A big one for the Tigers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, we would like to recognize our Auburn High School Marching Band
They had a really
senior.
good running game going with JT Rogers and Amari Hutchinson just getting it down there.
Christian
Yes, and Matthew Caldwell was
Angiano.
also throwing it all around. He also threw 2 more touchdown passes. Just
Enrique
in the first
Arbello.
quarter, number 11 Ross scored a touchdown to get him up 14-0. And like we said, Auburn's first 3 possessions that started inside their 50-yard line, it really made it easy for that offense.
Yeah, they didn't have to go the whole length of the field. They only had to go about 40 yards each of those 3 times, and it really helped them get those balls in the end zone.
Yes, a big first half for the Tigers. But the defense did great too. Number 22 got a sack. The Smith Station quarterback. So, Smith Station, what can they improve to have a better half and to score some points on the board?
Honestly, I think it'll have to come in the fourth quarter because this defense doesn't look like it's going to give anything up right now on senior night.
Yes, I mean, it looks like until they start 7 people in, Auburn's just going to keep pounding them. That offense has been unstoppable. Josh Allen, the kicker, he's been taking extra points. It feels like he hadn't gotten a break because Auburn scored 35 points.
It's true, and towards the end of the half right there, Zayray made a really good catch by a good ball by Matthew Caldwell over the defender that put him up 35-0.
Yes, so if Auburn wins, they'll get that region championship, which they haven't gotten since 2013. If they win the next 2 at Enterprise next week, then they'll host the playoffs all the way through until they most likely get to go to Bryant-Denny Stadium for a state championship.
Thank you, Patrick. And thank you guys for watching the AHS Halftime Show. Be sure to tune in at the end for the final AHS.
taken right at the middle, and there he goes. He's at the 50, at the 45, and he's going to be knocked down. I believe that was J.T. Rogers, who had the nice return there, and Auburn just puts a bunch of athletes back there and says, hey, wherever you want to kick it, we'll return it. As Auburn will take over in positive field position once again, this time at the 39-yard line going in. And anybody that's on the locker room half of the stands groans as the ball once again is on the, if you've been to Duck Sanford, is now on the left side of the field, going towards the Auburn band.
And it's an interesting options that Coach Weingarten has in the second half, because he's got a 35-0 lead. He's got a lot of starters that I think that he wants to remain crisp, to get a lot of playing time, and to come out here and perform in the second half.
Handoff off to the left side, and then Rogers is going to spin around one guy, then spin off another, and then get hit hard as he gets close to the 35-yard line, gets to the 36, gain of 3. Something that he's talked about, you have the off weeks and everything like that. Auburn plays next week, and then there's another off week.
Right.
So, and then it's playoffs. So Auburn plays a team they're better than in Smiths. They play a better than thought to be Enterprise team next week. And that's going to be a physical football game, and it'll be a good test for Auburn. Then it's an off week, and then it's the playoffs. Handoff up the middle for Rogers, and he just is going to lower his head and run hard. He's going to get to the 35-yard line, gain of 2, 3rd and 5 coming up. And that's, something that we see there, and that's something that Coach Weingarten has talked about in some in our conversations with him on Monday morning, is that the offensive line and the running back steps kind of have to mirror each other to really get in sync. Auburn hasn't had a go-to back. If you look at it coming into today's game, Hutchinson with 38 carries, J.T. Rogers with 40 carries, Pittman with 43, Killian Massey with 25. Carries have been all over the place and just kind of haven't been able to get in sync. Corner fire, and timed it wrong. J.T. Rogers into the open field. He's going to try to split the safeties. He's going to go feet overhead, and he's going to get to the 11-yard line. Gain of 26 on the play as Auburn's able to get a seam on that one, and Rogers picks up big yardage down to about the 10-yard line as Auburn gets into the red zone, presented by Byron Smokehouse, and J.T. Rogers checks out. And if I'm him, I'm kind of upset.
He was. That's what I'm laughing at, because as Amari Hutchinson comes running in, J.T. Rogers stopped and adamantly told him to get back off the field, but Hutchinson kept on coming, and so Rogers comes off.
Hand off to Hud, going off the left side. Cuts back again into the open field. Nice block. Is that going to be a clip? No! And J.T. Rogers is, now you see why he's upset.
That's right.
Because Amari Hutchinson gets into the end zone for the touchdown, and notice clock is still running.
Well,
and now they stopped it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's just a smart clock keeping up here. And now Auburn leads Smith Station 41-0.
Yeah, it was a great cut, and both of those guys, the J.T. Rogers run to get down into this position, everything just walled off down the left-hand side, and he got upended kind of awkwardly inside the 10-yard line, and that's why Hutchinson came in to finish off that drive. But he did not want to give up the touchdown. He knew that they were going to try to earn it on the ground, and Amari Hutchinson was just outfoxed him right there and was able to get the touchdown.
PAT's up and good, and I believe, is that Hut's first touchdown of the night? That's his, let's see, that's his 7th touchdown on the year. Both of them came in tied for the team lead. Both of them had 6 touchdowns on the year coming into tonight's game.
For the most part, most of our touchdowns have been through the air. I mean, it's even when we got down inside the 5-yard line, we went with some RPO, some quick stuff, and had a nice play action pass that we hit to Bryson Clegg on a 4th down. So, most of these touchdowns, I think that he's got 3 or 4 touchdowns through the air.
Caldwell has 4 touchdowns, Chris. 4 touchdowns for Caldwell on the night. That's impressive.
Yeah, the one
he
pick.
Did throw a pick.
He threw the pick, but really that was him trying to make too much of a play instead of just eating one, letting Smith Station win for a play while he was in the grasp, being slung down to the ground. He tries to hit a screen and throws it right into the waiting arms of a Smith Station defensive lineman. That was the lone poor throw that he's had tonight.
It's like the second time he's thrown a pick to a fat guy this year.
It is. Yeah, it is.
So Gore and Collins are back deep as Owsley will approach. And he'll kick it away, and it's a line drive kick that will land at the goal line and go through the end zone. And for the second time tonight, Owsley gets himself a touchback, and Smith Station will take over at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and that's key for him. And you can see Coach Weingarten and some of the other coaches, they really are trying to encourage that. And it's just the height. When he gets underneath it, it's he hits that pitching wedge, and it just doesn't get all the way down there. But when he hits the 5-iron, he's able to drive it all the way in there through the back of the end zone, and that's what they want. And Smith Station's going to go back to quarterback sneak right here.
Yeah, this is 1910s.
Yep.
I mean, 19s. I mean, this is just 22 people in the box, and we're just gonna turn around and run the ball.
That right there looks like what Enterprise did the entire time last year.
No, they had more success. Gain of 2 on the play, second name.
Just without the pirouetting that was going on in the backfield. Which I'm excited to see what they look like next
They've
week.
changed their offense. They still do some interesting stuff in the backfield. That basically relies on being dominant football, but it's not the Whirlybird.
Yeah.
Under center, and there's a boot off the toss, and Auburn does a good job of, well, the DN did a good job of keeping contained. The secondaries did not do a good job of flowing. Noah Warren is able to force out number 44 Millage on the play. First,
no, it's
there's
flag.
a flag.
Yep, it's coming back
for a hold.
Must have been up front on Lee Gregg, because he never went down the field, and he waved his defenders all the way back down. He either heard the conversation or he was the offended party there.
Yeah.
But nice play design. I mean,
it was.
They go to the 3 backs in the backfield, and it looks like everything's going to be downhill, and they get a little play action right there and hit a tight end coming across the middle. Auburn didn't have an answer for it.
Trying to get some score. We'll try to get scores to you as we can. Central, of course, all over Dothan. The big one we're keeping an eye on now in state is the Fairhope score. That's a surprising score that we last saw, 13-0. Toss sweep to the outside. Sam Snyder does a great job of forcing the edge, and then the Auburn defense is able to get outside, and it's going to be a loss of actually on 2nd and 12. It's going to pick up about a yard to bring up a third and more than 10.
Yeah, you called Sam Snyder out. He did a nice job, and we talked a little bit about them in the first half. Both Sam and number 22, Mcginney, really coming into their own in this defense, making it so that, doing a lot of the dirty work, so some of the other guys get some of the easier plays to make. But that time, Sam does a nice job.
As play action pass, and Noah Warren, actually, no, that was Nasir Pogue, jumps it, knocks it away. He's going to have a pass break up on 3rd and long. That'll bring up punt situation.
And he's another guy that is coming into his own with the absence of Quay Nelms and Pogue having the opportunity to get more snaps. He has the look of he's a long corner. He's got more height than anybody else in the secondary. He just looks the part of an outstanding cornerback out there, and made a nice break on that ball.
The last time Auburn had a corner whose father was on the staff, he turned out to be on the Auburn University staff, turned out to be a pretty solid player, and that was, of course, was Porter. As a fair catch taken. Auburn will have it at about the 44, 43-yard line going forward. Number 1 in 6A Oxford is up by 50 points. I only bring them up because Central, they're 5-3 on the year. They're going to win tonight against Dothan to go to 6-3 on the year, and then they'll have an off week next week, and then they play Oxford to end their regular season. And they could, that's a game that Central could easily lose. And it's just interesting to see a Central team that's not, 10-0, 9-1. And that's not to say that team can't get hot and end up representing the South in the 7A state championship. It's just,
I wonder if their big receiver is back playing again now. Because
I got to assume he'll be back at some point in time.
Yeah, because obviously you have a kid committed to Georgia and he's not playing for you. That's going to make a difference.
Sweep to the left for Pittman on the carry, and there's going to be a flag, and it's coming back. And if you're Auburn, the coaching staff, you got to be frustrated. That's a handoff outside, and there's a hold right in the middle of the line of scrimmage, or right in the middle of the offensive line. And looks like Fairhope is waking up as they scored right before the half, and then they got a kickoff to open up the second half, and now they lead 14-13 over Baker. And the hold was against Auburn High, and it was even downfield some, so it'll be ball right at the 50. It'll be first down and 18. And Fairhope is a team that if I'm as an Auburn fan, I do not want to see unless they beat Central and we play them later on. Handoff right off the middle. There goes Pittman. He's at the 30, at the 25-20, being dragged down at about the 15-yard line. Big gain of 35 for Tristan Pittman. Good to see for Tristan Pittman to have some success here on senior night.
Yeah, it is. It is good for him, and had a nice hole to be able to run through, and he's looked really nice tonight, running north and south, and not hesitating at the point of attack. He's just finding a hole and blasting up through it, and that time a big burst, flipping field position and getting him into the red zone.
Into the gun now. Handoff up the middle. Pittman spins around, tries to break a tackle, and did he lose the ball? Well, let me rephrase it. He 100% lost the ball. Was he down when the loss came out? Looks like they will rule him down. This will be a nice conversation for the official over on the far side. Gain of about 2 on the play.
Yeah, it sure did look like that ball may have come out a little early, but none of their players reacted like it did, which makes me believe that he must have been down.
I don't know if that's Matthew Caldwell in the game or Pittman. They both wear the same number. I do not know. Handoff inside to Tristan Pittman, and he's going to be hit in his thighs and going to get to the 5-yard line. Going to be a 3rd down and 5 coming up. So Clyde Pittman and Matthew Caldwell both wear the same numbers. I'll see if I can find out who the heck is the quarterback right now.
That looks like Clyde Pittman to me. That just looks like a different demeanor. Auburn has a couple of new faces in on the line of scrimmage, it looks like. Number 68.
Yeah, Davis Alverson into the game, and Cole Jones into the game. 2 seniors in at the guard spot. Pittman has it. He's going to roll to the right. Looking into the flats, he'll find his receiver, and he gets hit, and Cole Weiss not able to hang on to it. That'll bring up a 4th down and goal from the 6 with 6:32 left to go. Field goal opportunity coming for the Tigers.
Good throw right there by Clyde Pittman, rolling to his right. He puts it right where it needs to be, and just couldn't hang on there by the guy that's been sure-handed catching punts, but right there with a chance to score a touchdown, Cole Weiss just couldn't hang on.
So Auburn to go with the field goal as Owsley into the game, as Joey Futrell will be your holder on the year. Owsley 5 of 7 attempting field goals. Snap is down, the kick is up, and that kick right down the middle is good. 6:25 left to go here. 45-0 Auburn High School leads Smith Station.
Yeah, and this was kind of what I was wondering how Coach Weingarten would attack this with. These kids have only played 6 games this year, and so this being Game 7, and you're getting ready to enter the playoffs, and you want your guys to be fresh, but you also want your starters to have great continuity and know where each other's going to be, and so it's the type of dilemma that you want, but I think on senior night he wants to get as many of these seniors in and have them get the opportunity to participate in their last game here in Duck Sanford. But
last regular season.
Well, that's true.
We should be here in a couple of weeks. And heck, if everything goes right, Auburn will get 3 games after tonight here in Duck Sanford Stadium, and then we go up the road a little bit and play in a town that's just no fun in Tuscaloosa. 6:22 left to go here. Auburn High leads 45-0.
What year is Nasir Pogue?
He's a junior.
Okay.
So that's if you start looking forward to next year, Auburn's got 2 corners that are those spots are kind of lined up. You have Carson Yancey and Pogue back, and they like a lot of their sophomores on the defensive side. There's just some guys that got to step up, and that ball is driven, and maybe another touchback. Seeing that kick and how the ball reacted when it hit the goal line, just to let you know how spoiled Auburn High has been in their kickers. Auburn had Sage Ledbetter as a kicker a couple of years ago, and his senior year he didn't necessarily struggle, but he had the ability to kick the ball to the back of the end zone, and there were a lot of balls that were landing just in the goal line. And I talked to him on the sidelines, and I was like, so are you trying to put it at the goal line? He goes, no, when I mishit it, it goes to the goal line. And there was one time where he mishit it, so which means that he got underneath it and it flipped up. And again, this is the old school. I mean, this is just go forward and quarterback sneak. Well, it's going to get 10 yards on the play, 11 yards, 1st down. and there was a play where the kick went over the returner's head, and they were like, oh, this is going to hit and then roll out. It hit the goal line and backspun.
Wow.
And so they ended up taking all, and I asked him, I said, hey, you trying to do that? He goes, no, when I mishit it, I backspin it at the goal line. I'm like, that's a good problem to have. And Auburn has some subs into the game, and right now this is boring football.
Yeah. Smith Station is literally lining up in a rugby scrum and just snapping and running quarterback sneak every play at this point. And
well, at this point in time, I'll take my defensive tackles if I'm Auburn High and just dive.
Yeah. Well, at some point they're going to pull it out and run a play action, see if they can't sneak somebody for a big one. But
and they're just going to hand it off up the middle there, and a bunch of people running to the ball, and I mean, another gain of about 7 on that play. Auburn High has sent in some subs.
Which, really just kind of becomes Oklahoma drill in the middle of a football game is basically what it is.
Timothy Dover into the game. I see Tolan into the game as well. Pitts into the game. There's a tall sweep to the outside, and getting to the corner is a running back, and a host of Thomas gets in there on the tackle.
Yep, Bernard Thomas right there with the tackle from middle linebacker, and Auburn's going to put their first-team defensive line back in.
Well, you know what? Donuts are on the line.
That's right.
That's an easy way to get people to play hard. Hey, what happens if we get this shutout? We get donuts Monday. Oh, I'm in. A little handoff off to the side, and Bradley Harper meets the running back. And that's going to be no gain on the play. 2nd and 10 coming in. Cam Reese coming back into the game. Wrestling, one of the really good wrestlers that Auburn High School has on a strong wrestling program.
Good for him. Love wrestling and love what those guys do. The toughest people I know.
And JT Rogers was a wrestler growing up as well. And just quarterback just sneak right up the middle. And
yeah, so Smith Station at halftime just said
we're getting out of here.
Totally throwing away our playbook, and we are just going straight ahead north-south. And
I'm going to be honest, if I was a D lineman, I'm staying down with some type of shoulder injury, and then I'll see you next week. We can do this Oklahoma drill on Monday in practice.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it on Friday night. And there's a sweep, and Powell Gordon, he sniffs it out, and he's going to get himself a tackle for a loss. Powell Gordon comes into the, normally your linebackers lead the team in tackles. Powell Gordon comes in 50 tackles for the season. That leads the team. 12 tackles for a loss, 5 sacks. Auburn High in 5 games, in 6 games with 55 tackles for a loss.
Well, he's another guy that has grown up a lot this year. I mean, I remember seeing him last year at that defensive end slot against a team like Central, and it was just a physical mismatch. And, this year he's the guy imposing his will, and that's good to see.
This ball is going to hit and roll, and Auburn will take over at about the 3-yard line with 3:07 left to go here in the third quarter. Yeah, no, Powell Gordon is a kid that since I coach 8th grade football, a lot of these kids – get to see when they're coming up. He was a kid that we really didn't know what to do with. Mm-hmm. He was a lanky kid. He was strong. He played hard. We were looking at him at receiver and at tight end, but he just kind of struggled a little bit to catch the ball. And then we were looking, we need help on the defensive side. And the defensive line coach at 8th grade, Jason Davis, said, hey, you know what? I need rush. I need somebody that can get after the quarterback. And so we actually started the year with Brad Harper and Powell Gordon as our starting defensive ends. They ended up kind of moving some things around, but Powell was the bright spot on the defensive side of the ball for that team, and he's just kind of the brightness for him has just continued to grow since then. Little RPO action to Cole Weiss. Cole Weiss is going to make one guy miss, trying to get some help from Christian Brooks. Christian Brooks trying to drag him up along the way. Gain of about 7 on the play to the 11-yard line. 2nd down coming up.
Yeah, and a nice arm indecision right there by Clyde Pittman. He's got a great arm, good lively ball, pulls the trigger quick, no hesitation in what he's trying to do. He believes in his ability. So looks to be a looks to be a good, accurate quarterback right here.
And the other thing is he's your quarterback next year. Sweep action to Tristan Pittman. He puts his foot in the ground, going to bounce off a guy and then run hard, trying to get some help from his offensive lineman. Gain of a couple on the play, 3rd down and short coming up with 2:15 and counting left to go here in the 3rd quarter.
And, you know, Tristan has had some carries taken away from him by Amari Hutchinson, by J.T. Rogers, and, you know, you can see that he's got a little more urgency in his step tonight, that he is more difficult to bring down and is really getting north and south in a hurry.
Some type of – oh, well, we're trying to see if it was a first down. They're saying it is. Coach Glisson doesn't agree.
Well, they never stop the clock to find out, so that's just things
smart,
just ticking off.
Smart clock keeping here. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, technically, we never got the clock stoppage sign, and now it will be a first down. Well, now somebody might have noticed it, and then I think an official told him to be quiet. 1:30 and counting left to go here in the 3rd quarter. 2 receivers to the top, 1 receiver to the near side. Pittman will hand off to Pittman, and no gain on the play. 2nd and long coming up. And Tristan Pittman's helmet pops off, so Killian Massey will check into the game. .103 and counting. As you know, in case Auburn still has some receivers kind of in that are their JV and rotation receivers. Pittman's going to drop back. He wants to roll out to Cole Weiss and hits him right on the money. And right at the sticks, might be a little bit short on 2nd down, so it's going to be a 3rd down coming up.
The second time that he's thrown the ball rolling to his right, doesn't stop to set his feet. He just lets it rip when he gets in rhythm, and both times he's delivered a perfect ball right on the money. Both times to Cole Weiss. That time Cole is able to hang on and puts him in position to have a 3rd and manageable here.
Pittman in the shotgun. Ooh. There's your high snap, and going to be a fumble, and Smith Station takes over. As I was just about to say, Auburn had new linemen in. Will Waller was into the game, as was Charles Reese. And Chase Nellum's all into the game, and Auburn turns it over. And the defense is going to have to bow their neck here. And if you don't think that the shutout is important to everybody on the sidelines, first D is on the field.
Yeah, they want to keep that. They've worked hard to establish it. And, you know, also with what Smith Station's doing, just straight downhill, they want to put guys in there that can contend with that.
And sweep over to the near side, and Auburn does a good job of stringing it out, and then a great tackle once again by an Auburn defensive back, and that was Yancey on the play. So he's got a pick, and now he's got a tackle for a loss. And as a DB, I don't know what else you want. He's got a pass breakup, a tackle for a loss, and a pick.
You know, I would like to see how the Auburn coaching staff, how they practice that tackling right there.
I think they take a dummy, they spray paint right at the knees red, and you dive through that right there.
I mean, it's hard for me to imagine that they do that on each other.
No, they don't. We'll get into that when we come back, because there's a couple of tackling drills that they do every single day. And we'll go over that when we come back. It's going to wrap up the 3rd quarter. Auburn High leads 45-0. You're listening to Auburn High School Football on Wings 94.3.
It's time to get your next paint project started with just a click. Hey, it's Michael at University Ace. We're now offering paint online through acehardware.com. We can help you pick the perfect shade of Benjamin Moore, Magnolia Home, and Clark and Kensington for your home. Then you pick it up curbside, in the store, or we'll deliver it right to your doorstep. Learn more at acehardware.com or talk with one of our helpful team members today at University Ace, next to the movie theaters in Auburn.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
This is Austin Meek with Auburn University Credit Union. Whether you're ready to purchase a new or used vehicle or just need to borrow from a local financial partner you can trust, look no further than Auburn University Credit Union to help finance whatever life throws at you. Residents from the Plains to the capital city are eligible to join and experience better loan savings with our competitive low rates on credit cards, auto loans, commercial loans, and more. Our lobbies are open, or visit us online at myaucu.org. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Your Auburn High School football station, Wings 94.3.
Just looking for the wheel route, and that's a great job into. I think that was Yancey out there once again.
Yep.
No. It's a flag? For what? There's no way that's defensive pass interference.
Well, if it was something going on at the line of scrimmage. It was definitely not at the point of impact where the ball came in. If anything, the Smith Station receiver was over aggressive and pushed Yancey because he had better positioning. But maybe Yancey grabbed him or did something to him off the ball. But it was a quick flag. It was thrown pretty early in the round.
So you were talking about the tackling and something that with technology, Auburn hits dummies every single day. And if they're in shells, if they're in full pads, they're going to be tackling on these donut-type dummies and use it to wrap up and to wrap and roll. I don't know if they have a drill where they just dive at, low to take things out.
Well, they're good at it.
Yeah, they are. A little sweep action as the quarterback's going to keep it. He's going to run, and ball is loose, but he's into the end zone. And Auburn came away with a fumble, but unfortunately it was called a touchdown, so a touchdown it will be with 11:40 left to go. And it was a touchdown for the Panthers.
A little zone read action out of that.
That was a Cam Newton play.
Yeah, it was, and the quarterback had a big lane. Auburn close to it right at the goal line, and I'm not so certain that thing wasn't out before it crossed the goal line. But
I would give you really good odds on that one. Kick is up, and that kick is good. So Smith Station gets on the board with 11:40 left to go, 45-7. Auburn High School has the lead.
Well, now that the shutout is no longer attainable, I wonder if these guys will play anymore in this fourth quarter. The first team defense,
especially since you're going to play a physical game next week.
Yep.
Looking at another score from some more scores from Franklin Tire and Auto. Friendly service from Franklin on East University Drive across from CC's Pizza. Dothan having a tough go of it in 7A, losing to Central 49-13. That game late in the third quarter there. Tomorrow, Enterprise will play Jeff Davis. Prattville is off this week. 17-13, Fairhope number 9 in 7A. On top of Baker, they've scored 17 straight. Daphne beat Murphy 34-0 yesterday. Second inning, 2-0 Braves over the Dodgers as they went with Minter as the opener in that one. So basically be 2 innings, and if you get to the 6th with the lead, back into the bullpen, it's your job. Those scores brought to you by Franklin Tire and Auto. Friendly service from Franklin on East University Drive across from CC's Pizza.
Be interested to see how the regions play out. Last year the South region was dominated by this area with Auburn, Prattville, Central all winning in their first round games. I think only McGill-Tulane won. And then
every single team that will make the playoffs in Region 1 as that kick is high and taken at about the 25-yard line that's Zay Ray. He wanted to get an opportunity to return. Every single team that's going to make the playoffs in 7A, I don't think has won a 7A playoff game.
Wow.
The only difference might be trying to remember, Auburn in 2014 hosted a playoff game and lost, and I think it was to Foley. I think that was the last non-McGill-Tulane 7A team besides Fairhope in 2014 as well, because McGill didn't make the playoffs in 2014.
Well, it was definitely dominated by this area last year once they got into playoff bracket. And
because McGill was the only one that won, and then Auburn went down there and
put a thumping on.
I remember watching that game going, that's the best team in this area?
Yeah.
Because Auburn dominated that game from the jump. There's a chance Auburn or the Region 2 goes 7-0 this year. Handoff up the middle, and I believe that is JoJo that is in the game. That is number 30 into the game, and that is JoJo Barkley. And he'll pick up about 6 on the play. Auburn will go with just 2 receivers and a tight end to the top of the formation. Once again, another handoff. That one's going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage, loss of a couple. Into the game for Auburn High, Jamari Barron, as well as James Hume, who had a touchdown catch earlier in the year.
Well, this staff has done a good job in the past of allowing these guys to really run basically the whole offense when they come in and get in a position like this where it's 3rd and 6. Even though they're up, he still lets these young guys put the ball in the air sometimes, try to keep the sticks moving, and Clyde Pittman has been impressive with his early throws here tonight.
Christian Brooks into the game. Pittman will drop back, and he wants an out route, and pressure made him get rid of it before he wanted to. Incomplete pass. Xavier Sanford, a tight end, was in on the backside, and Auburn will have to punt.
And that'll be the thing that he'll have to learn as a young quarterback is, feeling comfortable in the pocket. He looks good rolling out when he gets away from all that trash, and he's able to deliver a nice ball. That time he got pressure in his face from a rush defensive end and had to get rid of it a little early, and, that one sailed away harmlessly.
Also, this is, Matthew Rhodes, his only punt of the night wasn't a great one. You like to see him get a hold of one right here and have a good one. Averaging 43.5 yards per punt on the season, long of 60. There's a good one. High spiraling kick, and it will be taken at about the 38-yard line. That's his 24th punt of the year. 15 of the 24 inside the 20-yard line, 11 inside the 10-yard line.
He was big in several games, and particularly the last time they played, really doing a good job of pinning Central a couple of times inside their own 5-yard line, and that really turned the game when Auburn got the ball or got great field position and almost got another safety, which would have been their 5th or 6th game in a row of having a safety.
Central, that was the only time that Auburn didn't get a turnover and didn't get a safety. Little bounce outside there. Nice tackle there by Sam Snyder. So the backers and the secondary are your starters. There's some rotation up front.
Smith Station does bust out of their non-traditional old school set into a more typical set for what we would think that they would run here.
ISO handoff, and in on the tackle is number 73, C.J. Nelms, and Charles is big boy.
He is a big boy.
6 foot 330, maybe. When C.J. Charles was
what year is he?
He's not a senior.
Okay.
He is a junior. And little boot action, Tolan there to blow up the running back. Nice job in the back by everybody else to stick 2 receivers. It'll be incomplete on 3rd and 5. It'll be a punt situation. When Charles was in 8th grade, he was the biggest lineman, and he played nose tackle just like he is here. And whenever he would make a play, I would say out Charles in charge. None of the kids got it.
Oh, man, that's 80s and young and early 90s living right there. I just watched him on that play. It was funny. He got tangled up with the guard that was blocking him, and the guard just laid on top of him at the end of the play. It's hilarious.
And that punt's going to go out of bounds. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Auburn High School Football on Wings 94.3.
WGZZ, Waverly, Auburn, Opelika, a broadcast service of Auburn Network Incorporated. Your Auburn High School football station, Wings 94.3.
Welcome back. 8:40 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Auburn High leads 45-7. Auburn well on their way to a region championship, the first since 2013. It was a good year. Auburn they were able to clinch the region championship at Opelika the last time those two teams played in a region game. Actually, the only loss in a region that Auburn High had that year was to Smith Station.
Wow.
And Auburn High went on to play for a state title that year. Also, the team up the road had a good year in 2013. Pittman has it, and he'll hand off. And King is going to get hit and loses a couple. Second down and long coming up.
Well, you're young in here. You want to get in and show the coaches what you're capable of in a game situation. You're probably playing guys that are a little bit older than you. Show the coaches that the moment's not too big, that you can still do the fundamentals and the techniques that you work on in practice. And, you're trying to get a leg up on next season and showing the coaches what you're capable of to earn a spot next year.
Cam Small into the game as well as Silas Mason. Little RPO action and caught on the outside by Barron, but there is a flag on the play. Silas Mason, kid that came in 8th grade who moved in from Demopolis, and he was a great B-back and tight end, and that's kind of what he has, and he might be that next guy that gets the opportunity to be that B-back that Paxton was last year, and then we've seen George Wright and McKinnell and Creighton Williams do this year. Penalty was declined. Didn't see what it was. I think it was illegal formation. Clock's supposed to be running, right? That's what I thought. 8 minutes and counting. But as we have this opportunity, we'll talk about some of the other sports going on. I know the volleyball team, they'll back in action after winning the area championship once again.
Yeah.
They were able to sweep Smith Station, who upset Central in 5 sets. And then now Auburn on Friday morning will go to Montgomery with an opportunity. They're 1 win away from a state from advancing to Birmingham.
To the Elite Eight. Yeah, they'll play Mary Montgomery, and if they win that one, they'll probably play McGill-Tulane. And
the Dirty Dozen.
That's right, playing for seeding in that final state tournament. Oh,
there's Silas Mason, and he has it go in and out of his hands, incomplete 4th down. McGill is a team that is private, so they can play in their football team is 6A.
That's right.
Their basketball team is 6A. Their baseball team is 7A, and their volleyball team is 7A. You start talking about some of the perennial powers in 7A, Mountain Brook, and they're down to 6. I think Hoover, somebody told me the other day that Hoover's like number 4 in the country.
They're unbelievable. They've got a girl that's committed to Florida, and
Florida's that's top of the line right there.
They are loaded with talent, super athletic.
And did Auburn play them earlier this year?
Yeah, Auburn played them and lost to them in 2 sets. Played well, but
fumbled punt there.
But just not there yet.
Yeah.
And Auburn has 3 seniors on their volleyball team. They're a young team. A lot of times you look out there on the court, they may have 5 juniors and a sophomore.
Right.
And so they have the potential to really do some good things. And they just have to. They can't play to the level of their competition,
right.
and that's something that those girls have had a hard time doing.
And that's something that comes with maturity. Yeah. Last year, I know they made it to Birmingham as well.
Went to Birmingham and lost to the eventual state champion in the first round, and which was Mountain Brook. But it was a good experience. They'd never been there, and to get back there would be a big thing for that program.
I think that's a big thing right now is after you had that success, keep it going and then have the opportunity to build on it. And wish those ladies all the luck in the world. They've, just like this Auburn football team who's had to overcome some adversity and some things off the field, that team did as well in the summer and this year. They missed a couple of weeks with COVID, and as you mentioned, multiple players getting sick. But luckily, it seems like everybody's healthy now, and they're full go and trying to get back at it and trying to looks like they're probably playing their best ball of the year heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think so. They really have gotten things going in the right direction, and it's just going to be a matter of playing up to their ability and not beating themselves. I think that's really what has been difficult for them. They play a lot of teams that have some really good coaching, some teams that have just some great athletes, and their teams that perennially are there and they expect to win, and Auburn's still learning to do that.
Little off handoff, and it'll be a first down into Auburn territory for Smith Station. 6:37 in counting left to go here in the fourth quarter.
I'm glad Smith Station decided to go back to a
even if you're just going under center and turning around and handing it off.
Yeah.
It's a lot better to do this than it is to go under center and just run. I don't even know what you call that.
Yeah.
Teddy Roosevelt football.
Well, I mean, that's embarrassing for the guys having to run it.
Yeah.
I think it is, and I get what he was doing, but man, I mean, that is go back and run something that has taken place this century.
6:35 as Smith Station calls a timeout. Auburn leads this one 45-7. In winter sports, they started practice this week. Monday for basketball was the first official day of practice as the varsity boys won the area championship for the first time in about 10 years last year, and then they return a lot of players looking forward. Coach Pritchett and the varsity girls made it to a regional finals for the third year in a row, and they returned just about everybody as they're poised to make a Final Four run. Exciting times going on, and as you said at the top of the broadcast, hats off to the administration, not only at Auburn High, but across the state for giving these kids an opportunity to go out and play.
Yeah, no doubt.
Little kind of delay handoff right up the middle, and Big Boy down to about the 25-yard line. Ball is loose. Is it going to be a play on, or is it going to be down? Is it a dead ball? Is it a live ball? What are we doing here? Number 42 on the carry, Kyle Watson.
And nobody ever made a call. I mean, the refs are all there just discussing it now, and I think they're going to keep it with Smith Station. And that's what they decided to do. I tell you, that was a big boy that started rumbling down the sideline or down the middle of the field right there, and the Auburn safety thought long and hard about sticking his head in there. He didn't look like that donut that you talked about that they tackled.
42 came flying downhill, and he was smelling end zone. Nice job of blocking on the outside by the receiver. You're not getting a holding flag with 6 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter right now. As Trey Elms did a good job at least forcing the runner back inside.
Which he did a great job earlier on kickoff, so he knows how to do that.
Well, Trey's a good football player, and he's going to be a guy that has a chance to start at a safety spot next year. Again, it looks like Nasir Pogue and Yancey, they're going to have the corner spots locked up. But Auburn's got a lot of playing time available on the defensive and offensive side of the ball. A little off-tackle handoff right at the middle. And then down inside the 5-yard line, Smith Station gets inside the Byron Smokehouse breakfast red zone. Again, best breakfast in town. Auburn with an early kick tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Why not wake up early, go get breakfast, and then get yourself ready for Auburn football at an 11 o'clock kick against South Carolina.
There's no reason to not be going to Byron's in the morning.
It's delicious. You can have something different on the breakfast menu every single time you go, and it's going to be a good meal. Power handoff right up the middle, and that's going to be a touchdown. And for the second time, the football comes out, and Auburn comes away with it. And for the second time, it is ruled a touchdown in the end zone. And I think the Auburn coaches were initially kind of upset at the call, but now they're upset at their players
for arguing the
call. Yeah. With 4:57 left to go here. I don't know who ran it in, Chris. I'm sorry. It's about 3 yards out.
It was number 6.
Somebody.
Yep.
You got the sheet. I had to give my sheet over to the
Iverson Jones.
There you go.
Number 6, Iverson Jones. And he did a good job of getting it across the goal line. I think that was a legitimate touchdown. I think the ground popped that one out.
A lot more legitimate than the first one.
Yeah, the first one was not a touchdown.
4:57 and left to go here in the fourth quarter. 45-14, Auburn High School has the lead. Again, they're going to win a region championship here. Befitting for this class who've been banging on the door of winning a region championship. They finally get one. Again, you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This will be the 8th region championship, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now 6 of them since 2004. 2004, my junior year in high school, and then the 2008 year, Auburn went undefeated. 2009, Auburn went undefeated. and that was probably the best team in Auburn high school history, the 2009 team. There's a lot of days that have, but if you're an Auburn University and Auburn University and Auburn High fan, the Black Friday when back in 2009, when on the same day it looked like Auburn might have a chance to upset Alabama, who was on their way to a national championship. They had the big drive to win the game. That game kicked off at about 1:30. Later on that night, Auburn High hosted Prattville in the Final Four game at this very stadium. Auburn High had the lead all night long before punt return with about 2 minutes left to go gave Prattville the win, 13-9. And that team was the team that probably had the best chance to win the state championship. Of course, obviously, with the 2013 team that went on to play for a state title. Return for Auburn coming back to the near side at the 25, at the 30, trying to make a guy miss and trying to get as much out of it as he can. I believe that one was Carson Yancey, and Auburn will take over with 4:45 left to go here in the fourth quarter.
Well, this has been a gritty team as far as this Auburn team this year. I mean, it's some games. I mean, it's like pulling teeth trying to run the ball early on. You kind of wondered if we were going to have any success over tackle, and just couldn't find our groove the first two games. And Matthew Caldwell, Bryson Clegg had to be the offensive weaponry, and then they've done some mixing and matching at running back. The defense has always been solid. The defense has come to play week in and week out, but they've just gotten a little bit better. I wouldn't say they do anything.
Handoff up the middle, and not a lot of people blocking on that one. And we lost about 3 into the game for Auburn High School. Alex Dover in at a B-back spot. Charlie Cox into the game. Cole Jones still in the game. Will Waller in the game. Dakari DeBose into the game as well. And also in at tackle is Jordan Reese.
But they're not overly dominant anywhere. I mean, it's very difficult to run the football on this team, and they're really good on the back end and pass coverage. But you don't look out there and see guys that are going to be playing on Sundays.
I'm not 100% positive, but I think that's offsides. 4 minutes left to go here, and that's going to set up a 2nd and 8 after the offsides penalty on Smith Station. As we have passed 9:15, surprised that there wasn't the decision to go to a running clock here in the fourth quarter.
Is that a decision? Can you do that in a region game?
Yeah.
Can you?
Actually, Auburn false started there, so I was wrong. It's a thing that both head coaches come to an agreement on at some point in time, that you'll just go ahead and run the clock. Pittman has it, and he'll throw a little hitch out to the near side. And I believe that one was Logan Blomeyer. We'll have yardage out to the 25-yard line, gain of a yard.
Well, 30 points was kind of the marker that I was looking for coming into this one for Auburn, just because when you look at Central's other region losses, every loss that they had, they gave up around 30, 34, 35, 36 points to the opponent. And Auburn got there in a hurry. I mean, Auburn was at 35 at the half, so it's really a good performance by this Auburn offense. Matthew Caldwell, the running game, offensive line gave good protection. I mean, I think this was their best performance in total as an offense.
So the Auburn defense, little handoff up the middle, nice cutback, couple nice cuts there by JoJo. He's going to get out to the 35-yard line, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. Something that this defense, when they're able to get 3 and outs, Auburn hasn't faced a team with a great punter yet. Now, another thing that came to light after the Central game is their big receiver who's going to Georgia. He's also their punter.
Okay.
And even if he's not the best punter, what he does is some of those bad snaps now might not be negative plays, might be able to get rid of it. So, I mean, it's just something that Auburn's been able to do, is defenses have forced, punts, a lot of them, and then Auburn's been able to take advantage of those punt situations. Punt back, or snap back to Rhodes. Rhodes unloads, and it's going to be a spiraling kick that's going to hit and bounce back. That's going to hurt the average as it runs 10 yards.
Well, but, number 43, Rusty McKinnell, the long snapper right there, he's somebody we don't mention enough, because in so many of these contests that we've had, the snaps have been horrid and have set up Auburn in outstanding opportunities to flip field position. They've allowed the guys to get in there and sack the punter. We saw that multiple times against Central. We saw that in many games that we played this year, and I can't remember us having an issue with that.
Nope. And a little handoff right up the middle and bouncing outside. And nice job by, I think that was Trey once again. Trey Nelms comes up, makes the play. First down for Jones. Auburn had a backer come
sure
free
did.
and just miss.
Well, Auburn's got a defensive tackle in right now, 77, Jaleb Moore. He looks the part.
Off tackle, and nice job there by Adam to get in there and get a tackle for a loss. Also getting in their backside was Macon. Marshall comes off. He was a little bit limpy with the ankle. Coleman Granberry comes in wearing number 12, one of the sophomores that'll get an opportunity to play a lot next year. As we approach 1 minute and 10 seconds left to go here, Auburn looking to put finishing touches. You want to end this one at 45-14. Don't want to let them end the one more time. And nice job once again. Adam flows from that defensive tackle spot.
Well, and your guy that you just said was going to get to come in and play a lot, Coleman Granberry, comes off the edge right there and forces the issue. But man, he took a shot from the fullback, number 43 for Smith Station, who got the better of that meeting right there and kind of introduced him to region play here.
Yeah. I formation once again for Central, or for Smith rather, and there's a sweep out to the far side, and Auburn's defensive tackle is doing a great job flowing inside out. And third down coming up with 20 seconds. We'll see if, Smith Station looks like they want to get one more play in. They got guys in that have worked hard as well. They want to get them an opportunity to get one more play in. Looks like actually now they might take their time. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and that'll do it. Auburn High School knocks off Smith Station and wins the region championship for the first time since 2013, and just the eighth time in program history. And these kids next Friday night at Enterprise will have an opportunity for a 10-0 regular season, a perfect regular season, something that's only been done twice in program history before this year. We come back, we'll have a post-game show. Auburn High School wins this one 45-14. You're listening to Auburn High School football on Wings 94.3.
Now you can do it all and get it all at KiaofAuburn.com. Drive the all-new Kia K5 with 0.9% financing for 66 months. Right now, take up to $3,500 off MSRP on a new 2020 Kia Soul. Get it all at KiaofAuburn.com, where you are number one. With approved credit, must finance through Kia Motors Finance. $1,554 per $1,000 finance. 2020 Kia Soul MSRP $2,966. Includes dealer cash discount. Must finance through KMF. Ends 11/2/20.
The Jay and Susie Googe Performing Arts Center at Auburn University presents its 2021 season.
Join us for the best of Broadway, dance, chamber music, jazz, and more.
With performances by the Del McQuarrie Band, Patti LaBelle, Boss Skaggs, and the Alabama Symphony Orchestra.
Season and series subscriptions available now. Reserve your seats today.
Visit googecentertickets.auburn.edu.
That's GOGUE centertickets.auburn.edu.
Or call the box office at 334-844-TIXS.
Franklin Tire and Auto is your one-stop automotive shop. For quality, dependable tires, Franklin features Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama. For complete car care, trust Franklin's ASE certified technicians. And for precision collision repair, Franklin's state-of-the-art body shop can fully restore any make or model. With free estimates, insurance claims welcome, and 24-hour towing. All at one stop since 1970. Franklin Tire and Auto, East University Drive, across from CC's Pizza, and at FranklinAutoInc.com.
At Auburn Bank, we've always...
We believe dedication leads to excellence. Hard work achieves goals. Everyone deserves respect. Fair play and sportsmanship reveal our character. We are Auburn.
We are powerful.
We are dependable. We are bold.
We are compassionate.
We are loyal.
We are love.
We are organized.
Unified. Respected.
We are diverse.
Innovative.
We are family.
We are proud.
We are
Auburn.
We are Auburn.
We are Auburn.
We are Auburn.
We are now region champions. Welcome to AHS Final. I'm your host, Hope Wisdom. Braden, how does it feel to be a part of the senior class that just won the region championship?
It's crazy that they could go undefeated, and most likely if they can go to Enterprise and get them a win, they can come back here and host every game up until they can hopefully go to Tuscaloosa for the finals.
Yes, what a win for the Tigers. What a great season they've had so far. They're region champions for the first time since 2013, a big accomplishment. Adam Weingarten's first region championship as head coach, and just such a big win for all these seniors who've been playing for, it seems like 3 years, all of them. A big time to be an Auburn High School Tiger. The Auburn High School Tigers are 2020 region champions.
Yes, what a great game. Thank you guys for tuning in.